And welcome everybody to the spotlight on, is he the Messiah or is he just a very naughty boy?
He's
the
a
one
very
and
naughty
only,
boy.
the Antichrist, MattZee. Matt, how you doing, mate?
God, I was just saying, just woke up, man. I didn't want to stand you up again. So, yeah, good, bud.
Well, I stood you up, you stood me up.
Ping pong, sleep ping pong, wasn't it? Because we're old farts.
Well, and it's the hazards of time zones, mate. Always been a big issue for me with everything I do. But yeah. So, Matt, this has been a long time coming, mate. As always, with everything around both you and me, everything hit the absolute shitstorm when the Daisy AI account went rogue, and
AI.
Who is that?
Fuck, I look like a bag of shit, dude. I was on Karma Crew for like 4 hours.
Dorkling, Boydie, and Matt, the Antichrist of Daisy, in chat there.
Yeah, I didn't want to stand you up, man, so I hadn't even had a coffee. I grabbed myself a watermelon juice and fucking yeeted it upstairs.
But, mate,
oh, well.
I think
I'm vulnerable. I'm nice and vulnerable for the chat to fucking put me on the spot. I've basically bent over now, so get in the chat and ask me uncomfortable questions.
I don't intend to go to you, mate, but we've got a lot to chat about. And I think we've got to go a long time back in the Daisy folklore to find someone as controversial as you, mate. You know, you're probably looking at
me,
Rhino Crunch, or someone on those lines who caused as much of a kerfuffle as you did. A couple of years back.
I'll interrupt a lot in this interview, and I'm not.
No. That's why we're doing this as a one-to-one, mate.
But I think everyone's controversial who doesn't agree with a certain group's political agenda, which is a game, which is mental. The whole game's politicised at the minute. A lot of games are, not just Daisy. So I think everyone's controversial.
It's not just games, mate. It's everything in life at the moment. You can't say you like bananas without someone going turning it into political. And you and I are just as guilty of that as everyone else, mate.
Yeah.
This is something that. Chatting there on Twitter with someone, I can't remember their name. I'm shocking at remembering things lately, but they were of the opinion that everyone, if they found out about what you'd done, would hate you. And I said, I don't agree. I think most people just don't care.
No. That's the thing. Most people don't care because most people, the broader people, this is something. I've had a bit of an epiphany. I think it was the Mr. Beast controversy that really opened my eyes to it. There's so many hundreds of thousands of people in our niche, and we hear an echo chamber of a small opinion of people that have a voice because they've all got Twitter and they're all streamers basically. Their voices are so loud, and we think that's the major opinion because that's who we see, and they shout very loud.
Both the minorities, as opposed to the silent majority.
The silent majority don't speak much, and they're in the background just fucking playing the game. And I think the general consensus on a lot of things.
That for me though raises the question: why did you choose to go rogue, per se?
God, yeah. I want to talk about Daisy mostly, but I'm happy to talk about all the other stuff if you want.
That's the primary thing. We're going to talk about anything and everything, mate. But for those who don't want to hear your or my voice any longer than necessary, let's start with the hot stuff, and then we'll finish off with the more cool stuff.
Yeah. I didn't go rogue, man. I was. I'm happy to talk, apart from my family, because it's quite sensitive. I'm happy to talk about a lot of personal stuff.
To give this a bit of structure, from my recollection, this all started with Spaggy's Run Die Retry event. Am I right there?
Yeah, ish. Yeah. I've been playing Daisy for a long time before that, and that's one of the things that I joined and made me sort of look into things not being how they seemed. But I did let the Run Die Retry kind of go, and I need to tell you why I started streaming and YouTubing first. But basically, I started it to send longer clips to my friends because you couldn't do it on Xbox, right? And then it all snowballed, and I joined the stream team because I thought it was cool at the time. And fuck me, it turned out to be the wrong team. All the girls in there were talking about transgenderism and all that bullshit, and I just simply disagreed slightly. And I said to them, guys, I joined this stream team for DayZ. Why the fuck are you all talking about your sexualities and stuff? Like, I'm not interested in that. And then they realised I was a conservative politically, and that's when the hate started, really. Basically, I joined the stream team as a happy-go-lucky, happy, positive dude. And I realised the streaming world was politicised. It was corrupted. I voiced my shock that I didn't realise this was how things were, and they jumped on me. And from there, I react to things, you see. I don't just shut my mouth. And from there, they realised, fuck, this guy's not going to toe the line. And they kept biting at me and stamping on me. And I just was like, nah, bollocks, fuck you. And then they'd go harder, and I'd say, nah, bollocks, fuck you. Who the fuck do you think you're talking to? I'm a gamer. I'm not one of you. I don't care about the money. I'm here to have fun. And eventually it led to basically what we saw. So every time I got one on them, they fucking bullshitted out their asses and tried to get one over on me. But then I just kept smashing them with facts. Things I was seeing on their fucking screens, things they were actually saying, and they hate being confronted with their own fucking realities. That's how we got here. I started as a normal gamer. I still am just a gamer. They're just a desperate bunch of cunts, really, who do this for money, and they didn't like it that I wasn't going to toe the line. That's how we got here.
Okay, so I also was for a brief time in the Survivor stream team, and I left it because I didn't see any of the politicization sort of stuff. Maybe that all started after I left, and I was in it when it was Paul and Spaggy running it, but I just left it because it didn't seem to be doing anything. You know, the impression I got of the survivors at the time was the majority of people were in there all just hoping to get a collab with Paul, suck off the teat that is the giant of DayZ. And that's no offense to Paul.
Now can you imagine why they doubled down when I ended up being in a fucking an event along, and then Lottie was saying hi Matt, and then I was on it's a video I recently re-edited because I hid it because I never did it for show. I recently re-edited it. Some of them saw it and realised, fuck, he's played with Paul. They're fucking they hate it. Anyone who starts to succeed, especially like me who didn't want to succeed, they dig their claws into you, man, because these people are sat at home desperate to make a living off this. And, they knew that I was successful in other avenues of life. I was earning £1,000 a week or more in construction. I didn't fucking need people's views and subs. So I was achieving everything they ever wanted to fucking achieve, and I didn't want it. And I was just having a laugh. There's a lot of jealous and envious people.
But Matt, that's in every walk of life, mate. And
but we're playing DayZ.
Yeah, but you joined a stream team and you joined something knowing, or if you didn't know, it was quite ignorant of you not to realise that. Everyone's out there trying to hustle. Everyone's trying to get their big break, to be a Sarah Moore who gets to play with Shroud or Smoke for a briefly. Just let me go. But don't think about it from a gamer's perspective, mate. You're talking about a stream team. You joined a stream team that is a bunch of people trying to succeed. And then when you saw the lengths that some of them would go to, which you should see in every aspect of life. Politicians do it. You would see people in the construction industry doing it. We've got a guy over here at the moment who does videos exposing shoddy construction workers. That's just part and parcel of life.
Yeah. Well, I did not know that this sort of stuff was involved in gaming at that time, and that's the truth. Gaming to me has always been a solace and an escape for everybody. I honestly, truly, until I found DayZ, and then moved into streaming for my reasons, which was to get long recordings of gameplay footage, I honestly didn't realise that it was a fucking thing. I know gamers make YouTube videos and stuff, but I didn't realise the extent of how much it was monetized. I didn't realise how different people were on screen to behind the scenes, and that's the truth. I learned a big lesson there, yeah, but it shouldn't have got as bad as it did when I realised that, you know.
Okay, so we're going to try to keep it some sort of law timeline here. So the first big thing was when you did the run, try, die, retry event. Talk us through your point of view on that one.
The run dive, yeah, it was on Xbox, and yeah, of course, you got you know, call it sad, but I think the running man and a lot of the big streamers are massive in people's hearts. He was on every TV in my home. My kids love him. This is nothing to do with Paul, by the way, but that was a big event you play. Now, this was the Xbox version. So I was recording.
For those who don't know, Paul and Spaggy were like that back in the day.
Back in the day, yeah.
They were very tied together. They did a lot. There's a long history there. Spaggy did some amazing things to help Paul out in his early days, and Spaggy has always been big on the community side of it. You know, some people know that I don't think a lot of that guy much anymore, but I will say he has always been an advocate for community. And put his money where his mouth is on that as well. He's run community servers, the village, and run events, and run some of the best vanilla servers.
I will back that up. I now realise I've recently been vindicated about that server NCRP. Recently, a couple of players have said, Matt, you were right all along, and I can prove this. They have been busted big time for cheating and a load of bollocks there. So Spaggy came and defended NCRP, who hosted that server for him, and made a complete fucking fool of me because he believed I was lying and there wasn't cheating or admin abuse going on in that event. That was what it was all about. There was, and I caught it. Now, recently, I've been vindicated in that.
So what did you catch? What did you catch?
I made a big video of it. I've removed it because TMZ asked me to remove a lot of my shit. And I rethought a lot of things when I went away. And I done it because I don't want to cause the old boy any more grief. Most of the issues around Paul are the people around him trying to use him for clout and to grow their channels and many other reasons. So I have removed the stuff out of respect for him. But yeah, people there were metagaming, they were stream sniping, and the admin lied about who really fucking won the event, basically. Now, Spaggy went on a fucking warpath defending the admin team for NCRP. I don't know if he still gets on with them, but there's some players now, a year, 2 years later, that have come out and said, yeah, they're a bunch of fucking cunts. Well done, Matt. You were right all along. I'll have to get that up if anyone wants to see it. It's in a couple of my comments. So basically, they cheated the event. It was on Xbox, and then from there, yeah, it all went to shit. Everyone was calling me a fucking liar, even though I had the proof. Yeah, that's what happened. If I ever have to put the video back up, I will. I had a lot of evidences of a lot of different things of videos I've removed. If they want to keep playing silly bollocks after this interview, I'll put it all back up and more. I'll double down on it, but I'd rather not. So I'd rather people not go, well, he's lying, because I've put the proof up before. I've removed it for Paul's peace, basically. Does that answer the question, or am I running on because I'm tired?
No, because I remember at the time talking to you and going, mate, I get it, like you raised it, but I don't know why you went on such a warpath, because at the end of the day, there was no prize money on the line. It was just a fun event, and it just didn't seem to me.
I've never cheated in life, and I again, I know you hate the term, but I also hate the term content creator. I'm a gamer, and we think what we're watching And because don't forget, I paid out hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, in supporting these guys. I did not realise all this stuff we were watching wasn't genuine. Hundreds and hundreds, if not, it's probably getting to the millions now of people genuinely sit at home, believing what they're watching is authentic, straight down the line, esports basically, and it fucking isn't. It's a load of shit, metagame bollocks, and I didn't realise it. So I went on a warpath because I'm passionate about authenticity and integrity. Something these people preach when they have their streaming masks on that frankly does not fucking happen behind the scenes. So I was passionate, like you'd be just as passionate going to the supermarket and finding out them motherfuckers have sold you an out-of-date piece of food. I thought I was buying something legitimate. I then got involved in something I thought was legitimate. And then I realised it was a load of shit and I'd been fucked over from it. So yeah, I passionately went on a warpath. And then it got nasty because people got nasty because I was exposing them. That is the long and short of it. And I'll never back down from that. I fucking caught a load of cheating, snidey bastards. Sorry for swearing. And they all fucking know it as well. You know it's right, Bordy, but you got to be careful.
No, I just don't think it warranted. Yeah, from the stuff I saw, there was some of the events, like the one where you had the footage of, I think it was Happy Bombs, telling people to get into the zone.
Yeah.
My take on that one was, so what? Like, they're just trying to create a fun event.
Yeah.
A fun event for people, and they gave, I don't know if they didn't give some people a reminder, but if it was just them saying it using admin tools in the game, I'm certain everyone would have heard that. You need to get into the zone. I don't know if there was any others, but that one, if you were robbed of actually winning an event, the run die retry, when the footage showed, and that's pretty shit.
Oh no, I wouldn't have won it anyway. I wouldn't have won it anyway. That's something they were saying. Oh, you're just salty because you didn't win. No, it weren't that I didn't win. I'd have to look into the video a bit more to exactly remember what my point was, because a lot's happened. It was never that I didn't win.
My recollection was that you it was just that it wasn't fair, that it wasn't even. And
life's
not fair, mate. Life's not fair.
Saying in the comments, they're saying some people make content for fun, not for money. That's exactly right. I do it for fun, and a lot of people do.
Same.
And my argument and hate has never been with anyone that just does it for fun. And it's not even being with people that do genuinely do it for money. It's a certain small group in this game that are fucking toxic, cheater motherfuckers, and you all know who they are. I think I've seen Facility at war with a lot of people. Dave himself has been at war with a lot of these people. So let's just remind ourselves that all of my arguments and my war has been with about 30 or 40 specific streamers who are all trying to suck Happy Bombs and the Running Mans and Amish Zed's dicks and take anyone down who gets in their way. That's who it's with, and we all know who those guys are.
Don simply saying some guy came up to you in game and said he stream sniped you.
Oh yeah, that was just one of the things. Yeah, someone was in the game physically telling me they were stream sniping me at that time, and I was a good sportsman. I just carried on, and then I waited until after the event, and I went onto Spaggy's Discord, and honestly, right, this is my problem with Spaggy and the mods. I literally politely let them know, and they just went bam, 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 bam. And I was like, dudes, what the fuck? I've come to you with evidence because you all represent the Running Man. I honestly thought Paul would want you to know if something dodgy was going on at an event that he advertises to hundreds of thousands of people. Please, can we start again? Because I think when you're typing, it comes off in a different attitude to when you're actually physically speaking. And people like Spaggy, this is what I'm saying, I've rethought things. They're dealing with hundreds of people a day moaning and bitching. So I think they misinterpreted my genuine concern for what was going on as me bitching, and I wasn't. So I then tried to say, whoa, let's take a step back. I'm just approaching you guys because you run the event and you represent some of my favourite streamers in this event, and I'm presenting you with evidence of how your event is possibly being corrupted. I've done this in private conversations and said, I'm trying to help you. And they just wouldn't have it. He put me on fucking Run Die Retry's website, a photo of me, and tried to make a fucking fool of me. And that's when I said, nah, this is bollocks. Imagine they're doing this to me, and I'm quite confident. And I'm able to defend myself. Imagine what they're going to be doing to people who haven't got the voice I've got. These are bullying bastards. And then it hit me like a ton of bricks. I started to find out they are doing this to people behind the scenes. And these are people that fight for mental health on their streams and make you give to mental health charities while they're streaming. Yet they're fucking bullying every motherfucker in the community. Most people play this game because some fucking bullshit's going on in their life. They're trying to escape. And I was not about to stand for the people we look up to and who run these events and run this community, bullying the fuck out of people. And ever since then, I've been fighting for that. But it doesn't seem like that because they've pushed me into a corner. You never fucking poke a sleeping lion because he'll bite you. So they've made me bite and bite and bite, and I think that's what they wanted all along because I've always had valid points, and they've purposely provoked me to a point to where my public image looks bad now because they've smashed me so hard I've had to get angry.
No. Part of why your public image went bad, and yeah, I've shared your story with my missus, and she is the least woke woman.
May I say, what an amazing woman for putting up with you. I love
fucking
you.
Oath, mate. Fucking oath. We are this year. It's 26. Wait, 26 years together this year. We're going to see the Book of Mormon in Sydney for our anniversary. But one of the things that really riled a lot of people up was when you went after some of the women as hard as you did.
I didn't. It was the women are the people that have the biggest voices. I happen to respond to a lot of females.
But it's how. Even there's a video you shared.
Well, if a woman punches you,
no, just listen. Just listen. There's a video at the moment where you were having a go at a woman for screeching.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. If that was a man, I would have had a go at him for screeching. If they want to be treated equally, and all my partners in life and all the women in my life get treated equally. If a woman wants to be treated equally, then act appropriately in accordance to how you want to be treated. I'm not talking about rape or stabbing here. We're talking about if you shout at me, I'll shout at you. Come on. It's all been took way out of hand. We're not talking about physical violence or anything. If a woman calls me a cunt, and I'm sorry, darling, you're a cunt too. Everyone agrees with that nowadays.
Yep, that's
equal
fair.
right. You want equal rights?
Would you use the word screeching with a man if they were just yelling at you?
I'd say acting like a fucking knob. But a woman physically screech because their voices scientifically are a higher pitch than ours. It's just a fact that is a screech. You know, if you screeched at me, it'd be more of a shout. So I'd call it a shout.
I can barely get above
and it is for comedic effect, you know. I'm not trying to be, but I'm a natural born entertainer. I've been on stage playing drums 22 years of my life. It's funny to call a woman's high-pitched squeal a screech. And it wasn't intended nasty. You look at that YouTube short, she was screeching. It's funny. Yeah, it's for comedic effect, and you know, if a woman wants to shout,
just in the chat, be very, very careful. I know this is a big interview, and we're talking about a lot of people and that, but be very careful with what you're wording and what you're saying about certain people that aren't here to defend themselves. Comment there by Mr. Rager. No, don't even say it. We don't need to say it.
No, we're not. I'm not. One thing I want to point out is We're going to find out later. My thoughts have changed. I'm not here to hate anyone in particular. It's very unfortunate that we do have to mention certain people's names because
I
you
just
can't
think
avoid.
you chose for what you were trying to achieve. You chose one of the hardest target groups to
Because I grab life
criticize.
by the fucking balls, man. I've always took
But it made
challenge.
it, it made it easy for people to just shut you down.
Yeah. Yeah, cool.
I see Murray's got had a comment there before that it wasn't Matt's fault at all. It was the admin's fault. Everyone started hating him. Definitely had nothing to do with the QAnon style videos. Yeah, when you started doing a lot of the culture war stuff and tying that into your videos, that gave people an easy way to debunk anything you said. Well, not debunk, sorry, but to just not listen and just go, he's a crazy QAnon.
Yeah.
You didn't. You didn't.
Well, I am crazy, but
opinion. Like I agreed with many of the points you were raising, not all of them. Those who know the timeline here, you and I had a big falling out, and we'll talk about that in a bit more. But
that was cool.
You just went about it in a unhinged manner, in my opinion. You went full retard.
Yeah. But I'm not a professional, and this is something people really fucking struggle with. I don't need a public image. I'm not. I don't need to maintain an image because it's all about maintaining a level of income. I don't give a fuck, and I don't mean that nastily. I go to work every day and I log on here, and I don't even say fortunate. It's the internet. It's called YouTube because it's me. And it's my views and my values, and that happens to mean I don't give a fuck about financial gain. People really have got stuck on, he should be saying this because he's got a public image. He should do things this way because he's on the internet. No, it's my YouTube.
I've had people say that to me as well. I've been called out for my opinions on things in the past, and I have a platform, and I should know. I don't care. Myself personally, I say what I want to say. I just recently left a big group with some really big names in it, and it's because of this interview. And I got attacked in it. I got told I was a bad influence, or I'm bad for the DayZ community by one of the people in there. And I just, rather than stay, I could have stayed and I could have gone unhinged, but the group was run by the DayZ team. It was for the people who went to Unite last year, and out of respect to Scotty and the rest of them, I just said, look, things are getting a bit crazy in here. I'll catch you guys later. I don't need to be in a group with those people. I've always done my own thing, and I will just, I'll just continue to do my own thing. I copped an absolute shit ton of hate from people for agreeing to do this. Even Dave in chat there, he thought there was a conspiracy with the AI releasing that tweet. And I was like, that was just a pure coincidence. Because as I said at the time, you and I have been talking about this pre-Christmas last year.
This has been going on a very, very, very long time. And
we dabbled the idea for a long time now. And it's only since I've finish the podcast that
I hope people are aware that we have not fucking spoke about anything we're going to talk about tonight. I think that's one thing I respect about your journalism, because let's face it, you are a journalist. You don't.
I'm just an idiot with the voice, mate.
Now, I like the fact, and there was a few times even on our chat leading up to it, I was asking you, has anyone sent any questions? Do you need me to toe the line? Because I didn't want to come on and completely make a fucking idiot of you. And you said, no, we're not talking about anything. And I was down with that. This is all just, unplanned. So I hope people know that.
I like that one from Michael. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but not their own facts. I did like that other one. It's called Tube because you are a tube. So we'll get back on the track now. The stuff with the women, I don't know. Like me personally, I just put it back away.
It's not the stuff with the women. It was a lot of women had very loud voices, and I responded to them equally. Now, if there was dramatically higher percentage of women involved in this, then naturally there'll be a naturally higher percentage of my responses directed to those women. Let's not fucking skew what really happened here. Much more women were getting involved in it, so therefore my responses were directed at those women. If it was mostly a male predominant responses to me, I would predominantly have responded to males. That wasn't the case. So we're not going to go down this line of misogyny or targeting women anymore.
No. I just
that's not to you, Boydie. I'm just that isn't aimed at you.
For me, with the sort of person that I am, I just would have backed off and gone, okay, I'm obviously causing them because I've got that bit of white knight, bit of chivalry. No, I've got a bit of chivalry in me, and if
so have I when I want to.
Most of them were irrelevant. Most of them were irrelevant, and I think in many cases, some of them were just jumping in on the bandwagon to get attention. To be able to play the "I'm a victim." Matt said mean things about me.
They all have to be victims. They all have to be.
No. Don't. You're doing generalisms there. Not all of them. Not all of them.
Well, everyone knows I don't mean everyone. But,
but you've got to be specific. In today's day and age, mate, you've got to be specific.
I can't be specific, or it means I have to mention.
Well, that's
names,
why you're on here with me. I'll be specific for you. I'll call you out, and we can clarify. Don't be mean to girls, only boys. Dorkwig, 2025. No. You can be mean, but there comes a time where you go, okay, it's just this is enough now, because
I'm not actually
and this is something you said a little bit of a lie before. There is something we did talk about because I did want to clarify one thing. It's been alleged that you were reported to the UK police.
No, I rang the police because I was like, "Yo, hold on a minute," because that Ariana basically was saying. She told her, this is what I mean, they're liars. She said she's reported me to the police. So I rang the police. I recorded the recording. Unfortunately, when I was in Turkey, I was watching my phone in the hotel room and it smashed on the tile floor. And that was recorded on that phone. I rang the police, my local constabulary, and I asked them. And they basically said, if we've had a report about you, MattZee, we'll be at your door and you'll find out in due course. That was, God, well over a fucking year ago.
Again,
complete lie.
Shy of any physical evidence being produced by someone may have made a complaint, but people have to remember. Matt, stop talking over. I've got a point I'm trying to make here. This is the UK. This is the country where people are having police turn up at their door for saying mean things about trans people, about gay people, about immigrants or stuff like that. So I genuinely believe if there'd been a legitimate claim made to a report lodged with the police about Matt, he probably would have had police turn up.
I think the police probably watched my videos and said, "This guy's fucking brilliant. Let's leave him alone."
Well, if you had the what is it, the lesbian auntie turn up, you might have been arrested. But for those who don't know, check the just go check out on YouTube. There's plenty of videos about that. That was a very poorly handled situation. Poor autistic kid getting bailed up just for saying you look like my lesbian auntie, and she got told it was a hate crime.
Yeah.
Remember that time Matt interviewed and tried to understand the Australian DayZ cheater? I'd forgotten about that, Postal. I had.
Yeah. I've apologized. I can't tell you the avenues in which I took to apologise, but I've sent a formal apology for that, and I do apologise for that. I'm now in hindsight looking at it, and because I love this game, I realise that Bohemia Interactive were 100% correct in their stance.
Well, I'm glad you came to this because this is the next point that I wanted to bring up.
That minority of cheaters that are in this game, I should not have brought to the forefront because that could have damaged this game we loved. And I've sent a formal apology to Bohemia about that. And
you actually sent me some nice messages, which is what instigated the road to this interview happening, where you talked about Scotty in particular. So for everyone, this is one of the things I alluded to when people were criticizing me for doing this. And I said, there's a lot of information that Matt and I have chatted about in the months leading up to this interview that I felt deserved to be out there. So go into that in a bit more detail, Matt, about what actually happened and your reaction at the time and how you now view it.
Yeah, well, this all snowballed, and then a guy approached me, this Australian dude, and he told me, I was convinced, and I still am convinced, that a certain Polish streamer is using a lot of hacks, and he was showing me exactly why he agreed to me, and he was showing me exactly the kind of cheats they're using on their screens, aimbot and ESP, stuff like that. So I decided to give this guy a live interview on my podcast. I called it at the time a shit show, and basically it went into great depths of how these people use these. They buy these hacking software and they use them. Now in DayZ, it's like 0.001% of people do this, so it doesn't. It's such a minority, but anyway, nevertheless, I gave this guy the time. And Bohemia got it took down, and they were 100% right to do that, because
So what did that mean for your channel?
Nothing. Did
they strike you, or did they just ask you to take it down?
They asked me to take it down, and it got took down, and I was angry about it at the time. But then I realised how much fucking damage that would do to the game. When someone types in DayZ, they need to see how amazing this fucking game is for 99.999% of the time. They don't need to see a tiny minority of fuckwits cheating, because that's not the game. There's actually not much cheating that goes on in this game at all, contrary to popular belief. Anyone could disagree, but it's a fucking truth. The cheating aspect's so tiny, so I've apologised for that, and I was wrong to make that fucking video. Why highlight cheating that happens in all games, especially when it's such a small part of this game? That's a retarded thing to do. So they were right to do that, to strike it. So I agree with the decision, and I've apologised for that. But at the time, I was in a bad place. Don't forget, I was being publicly humiliated and fucking smacked. The shit you've seen in public is nothing compared to what was happening in private as well. So I was in a really bad place.
So you were being harassed IRL by people?
Yeah, they were fucking they were streamers and moderators from certain streamers. They were. I mean, I'd done something genius. I posted a bait
I know
photo.
Did someone share photos of your kids or something?
My dead granddad, my kids, they took my bait, because a few of us, they were threatening my workplace. Now, I'm self-employed. I have my own businesses. So I took a photo of my tools. This was genius. A lot of people in the community loved it. And I put a fake work sticker on one of my helmets, and I placed it near my tools, and I made a "just got back from work, gonna play DayZ." But I had an email address of my workplace on my hard hat. A few of us decided we were going to set them up and see, are they really capable of contacting my workplace? Lo and behold, 2 days after posting a bunch of my construction site tools and a caption saying, "just got back from a hard day's work, now going to enjoy DayZ," and I planted a fake work email address in that photo on my construction helmet, they fucking emailed my workplace, what they thought was my workplace, with loads of screenshots of my videos calling me a Nazi, a racist, and a misogynist. Racist is a funny one, and we'll talk about that later. They are actually capable of phoning your workplace if they disagree with your YouTube videos and your opinions, people in this community, to get you fired.
That surprises you? That surprises you? That's
it did,
part of the course these days.
Because of the mask they put on their
part
screen.
of what makes me kind of immune is that
I
don't
genuinely
work.
thought these were genuine people, Boydie, because I am a gamer who got sucked into this world for my own reasons. No one wants to believe it. They can't see it, that I was innocent and ignorant to all of this. I didn't have a fucking clue. Any of this was going on. And they realised that I was the wrong dude to have let on and opened up to, because I weren't about to take it lying down what goes on behind the scenes.
Do you know who sent those emails?
No, I don't know. I mean, I could go into my emails and have a look at the email address if anyone wanted me to, but it's obviously going to be a fake email address, isn't it?
Yeah, they're probably a burner of some sort. But now I want to go back, because you
just hold on. Can you imagine this happened to me, who's got confidence? Because I've if you want to hear my life story later, I'm not a narcissist. I can't be bothered. I'm happy to, but I'm fucking. I live on the fucking edge, man. I'm not a pair of kahoonies, believe me. They fucked with the wrong one. Imagine the people they do this to that melt. They fucking make weak, vulnerable people crumble. They're disgusting, and gamers don't deserve this. They fuck with the wrong one, and they fear me for it. This has been going on for fucking years, Boydie.
Yeah, you threw something back there, and this is something that I think this is going to be quite a long interview, because I'm going to try to make sure, and people in chat, if you can remind me, you threw a offhand comment about a certain Polish streamer. Now I'm going to assume because well, if you're going to make a statement, you can say the name, because I've met the guy, I've known Tope for quite some time, and I will agree the guy has insane skills. But even one of my best mates, who I respect in the world, Vigilante Gamer, he has never, everything he gets from, and he's done analysis of one of Tope Rec's videos. The guy is just on the next level. I can see why people, and if someone came out and said,
but why was no one doing it? All I was doing was saying, here's why I agree with, because it was never me who accused him. People came to me with accusations
for the same reason that people came after
you. Why has no one ever presented me with that evidence? All they did was
for the same reason people came after you. People hate and they love. We call it tall poppy syndrome here in Australia, and they love to destroy people. Smoke. They say the same thing about Smoke. There are some people, look at Shroud. There are some people who are just at that level above us, like Mind is saying. And I was going to get to this point. Eventually, every one of these people who is using cheats to get to where they gets found out, and people would have found out. Tope has been online, terminally online, almost.
Shut
up, Matt! Shut up!
Someone show me Tope having a conversation where you buy the cheats years ago. There's a physical screenshot. A thread of Tope literally making inquiries on the site that you buy the shit on. He lives in an impoverished. Have
you ever produced that evidence? Because if you've got evidence of that, then
I believe it. I removed the videos because the running man asked me to delete all my bullshit. If everyone wants it all back up, I'll fucking put it up. Spaggy.
No, because at the end of the day,
I've recorded it all for future use.
Matt, you had people email you. You had people email you trying to cancel you. You don't think someone would go to the lengths of creating fake screenshots? How did they get this information? How did they get this information from a website? How did they get this information from a website that sells cheats? How?
It's old Reddit. It's old Reddit transcripts. Reddit, for God's sake. I think people will probably go look now at Reddit and do their digging. This was fucking legit, dude. And
what is this from like 20 years ago when Reddit was first started or something like that? When Tope was probably a teenager?
I don't know how many years ago. There's a lot of fucking information from a lot of different people that I can't keep in the forefront of my mind, which is why I've been asked to take a lot of this shit down. And I've done it because we'll get there. I'm actually trying to be peaceful now. But you asked me, let's go back to the beginning. So someone did comment in your chat, Matt, I thought you were here to get the peace or something. I am, but if I'm asked to bring up the past, that's what this is about. We're going to do that. But eventually, by the end of this, we'll have peace. But if Boydie's asked me to dig up the past, I'm going to do that. Can't remember who asked it.
You've got to be very careful with what you claim based on just a screenshot sent to you. Even a Reddit thing can be like.
Well, it wasn't screenshots; it was linked.
The thing is,
I believe, to Reddit.
So many people know Tope, and I don't know a single person other than you who's ever made that claim, other than in an offhand sort of way.
Because I'm the only person who's been able to have the balls to not deal with their bullying. Can you imagine why no one's ever said anything? Not just about Tope.
I don't take it either. I don't care.
No,
I've said it time and time again. I don't. You keep on saying you're the only person, like you're the flag bearer for this, and you kind of were to a point.
Recently, then, yeah.
But you're not the only one, mate. There are others who there is a whole school. There is a whole school of content creators out there who just don't associate with the core of the old school people who, and it's not because they don't like them. It's just they don't want to get into.
We're the new generation, man, and we don't know all the shit.
I associate mostly with a lot of the new school guys. It's no offense to anyone, but bar a few of them, it's who I prefer to be around. Because you're right, there are some egos amongst some of the old school people. You could call it what is it, gatekeeping and all the rest of it. And back in my day, the classic boomerisms and all the rest of it. That's why I've always tried to shine the spotlight on new up and coming content creators, because they do things differently. They've got a different take on it. People like Zesty Polvo. I love his stuff.
Zesty Polvo's awesome, isn't he?
I know he's not very popular with a lot of people.
Why?
But I don't know. I don't know.
I learned a lot of Zesty Polvo in my new little videos I've made. You'll see that I now do a lot of pan and zooms, on critical moments. I learned that of Zesty Polvo's shorts. All of his shorts, they were fucking grabbing me, man, and I didn't know why. Well, his videos are brilliant, but I was watching his shorts and they just kept coming in my face, and then I learned, he's using the pan and zoom feature.
I want to go back to one other point here, and this is something that before I left that group, Tope himself raised, and it's something you accused me of as well. You love using words. You love using buzzwords, and you called both of us pedophiles.
What? No, I did not. No, surely not. I don't go around calling people that. Hell nah. I'm
not sure if you're being sarcastic here or you're just having a complete and utter memory blank. Do you genuinely not recall doing that?
No, show me. Come on. I'm interested. That's funny.
Oh, you've taken the video down. But yeah, you called me one. I remember it at the time.
No.
Yeah, you did. Because I made the reason you said it about me
in context
is
of June.
No. You said it about me when I took offense when you used the footage from when Lad was hosting the podcast and he had Ariana on as a guest. And you said about everyone knows Dave. He's an alcoholic and he lives in poverty.
But we've made up. Don't forget.
You said a lot of really fucking.
I know actions have consequences.
And this is part of why a lot of people.
Everyone's actions. Everyone forgets it was me against 50 people. More, maybe. Actions have consequences. And when you fucking smash an individual, when they just need to be heard with some evidence they've presented, you make them bite. Everyone seems to forget that. That's so out of context when people say, I've said nasty things. When you fucking bash the shit out of someone's head, one individuals, they're gonna bite. This was 50 fucking people against me, and I did get fucking nasty eventually. But let us not forget that was a consequence of at least 50 other people's actions towards me, because most of them didn't like me exposing some truths about their heroes.
You're deflecting.
They were trying to fucking nosh off.
No, you're deflecting. You've got a valid point, but you're deflecting off of the point. And what do you say about those things you said now?
Oh, I'd apologise if I did call you that, Boydie, because it's not in my character or my nature at all to just throw nasty.
Well, it is, because you did it.
People.
You're doing a politician's response here.
It would have been no, I'm not. It would have been as a reaction to one of your actions or something you'd have said.
Now,
I do not ever go out of my way.
I'll give you.
I unequivocally never go out of my way to be nasty to anyone. My whole ethos has been to be a kind person.
I'm going to run you through.
A nasty person.
Matt, I'm going to run you through my experience and what led to it. Now, Lad had Ariana on as a guest on the show, which I fully approved of, because she and I don't get along that well, but that's by the by. But I think she does some amazing events and really does do a great job at promoting female gamers, because regardless of your thought on it, they do in some cases have it harder.
Female gamers, just
Matt,
gamers.
Matt,
that's fucking funny though.
No,
what about trans people, you misogynist?
For fuck's sake.
Fuck females. Well, that's the point, though, isn't it? It's funny. Sorry. I'll shut up.
Are you going to let me talk?
Yeah, I promise, Dad.
Okay. So they had Ariana on, and then you used footage from that without, and you and I were pretty good at the time. We were chatting and talking and agreeing about some of the points that you were raising in that. And you didn't even have the courtesy to let me know, hey, Boydie, I'm going to use it. Just a heads up so you know. The first I found out about it was when your video dropped. Yeah. And you said that at the time. But courtesy, Matt. If I was going to use something of someone else's, I would give them the courtesy if I respected that person, and even if I didn't, as long as I didn't hate them and it wasn't a gotcha moment, even though I'm not really into gotcha moments, but I would have just said, hey, mate, just letting you know I'm going to be using some of that footage. And I did at the time. I said Matt didn't need to, and I agreed with you on the point. He didn't need to give me a heads up, but courtesy would have dictated that you did. And then it all derailed because you were in the middle of your unhinged ranting at the time, doing QAnon conspiracies and all the rest of it, and tying that into DayZ. And no, listen, Matt. And you released this weird ass video where you were in your underwear and gyrating around on the screen, and your dick was flapping around inside your jocks and all the rest of it. This video is so demonetized now, by the way. And I sent a public message, and I said, mate, you need to fucking calm the fuck down. Your girls are going to see this stuff on the internet, and they're going to be embarrassed by the fucking DNA they share with you. And from that, you replied with, I'm obsessed with your children, therefore I must be a pedophile.
Right, okay. Yeah, why has everyone got to bring kids into it? It's 18 plus content. That was probably my point. It's 18 plus content. Simple as that.
You went to calling me a pedophile.
Well, if I did, I apologise. It was probably meant in jest. If it was meant in anger, then I apologise for it. But why shoot me down for making a video of my boxer shorts? Hold on. Why is it all right for women to make videos in their bikinis, but not a man?
It's not. I don't like that either. I don't like that either. I think that's fucking the lowest of the low.
It's nothing better than a nice pair of tits and a nice ass in a bikini. I like it when a woman does that. I don't think that should be in gaming myself personally, but I'm a prude. No, I agree. Actually, in gaming, maybe, yeah. I don't think it should be on
platforms like Twitch, which is primarily a young person and children focused industry, and your streamers who are doing those bathtub streams and that. It's disgusting to me.
One thing that pisses me off about all these people, and this will tie in, believe me, I'm not making excuses, that no one knows this, and I never said it at the time because I'm not a person to plead pity of people. But a lot of these streamers did know at the time. They all make these mental health charities and stuff. It's probably about the time that I told everyone. At that time, I was heavily dosed up on citalopram. I was diagnosed with severe depression, legitimately. But I never told anyone that because I was coping with it with gaming. And that's why I'm so passionate about the hundreds of thousands of gamers that use DayZ as a coping mechanism for the problems in their life. And I hate it when they get fucking bullied. But anyway, yeah, maybe that was a fucking wild thing to do. But at the time, I was heavily dosed on prescribed drugs to deal with severe depression. And yeah, I was abusing cocaine and alcohol at the time as well. So my videos were pretty fucking wild. But I didn't have anyone to impress. I don't give a fuck if people don't like my videos. I still don't. I do it because I think it's funny at the time.
It's something that I struggle with as well. And I've spoken to everyone knows Dave about this as well, because all three of us are fairly contentious people in the DayZ community, and we can go on rants and all the rest of it. But it's very important. Like you see a lot of these inspirational posters. A true man is one who remains calm when everyone around him is going
Dave,
insane.
That's not. I literally just said in plain English, Dave. In plain English, I never told anyone at the time, and I never used it as a pity me. I'll fucking get you the paperwork, mate. It's next to me. I never ever told anyone about it, but I'm now saying at the time I was probably a bit off the ropes because I was highly medicated. I literally just said plain English, mate.
I'm going to be quite brutal here, and I think this may be one of the most contentious things I say here, but it's still no excuse. For those who don't know,
I just said that's probably why. That probably is a reason why I was heavily medicated. I was making wild stuff. You can call it a fucking excuse all you want, but I'm telling you why it's probably. That probably is why things were wild. You could carry back and forth. It was just an excuse. I'm just telling you why things were probably wild. Because I was heavily medicated at the time. It's not a fucking excuse. I never used it as an excuse. That's why all this time later, I'm just letting people know at that time that was something that was going on, and I never used it as a pity party in my live streams. I never done support mental health charities and fucking subscribe to me, did I? I never told anyone.
What you need to learn, Matt, is something that
I don't need to learn anything.
No. Just shut up and fucking listen. Shut up and listen for a second.
I've got no public image to maintain.
No. It's not about public image. It's just about being a decent person, and it's something that I speak to Dave about from time to time, and it's something that I'm aware of myself. Even Murray, who is in the chat, he and I used to chat all the time as well, and it's something I'm aware that I can go, and as much as possible, I try to restrain myself. I know what my triggers are. I know what my points are that I can tend to go on a rant about. And I just make the choice to step back because it's, again, Murray will probably have a fucking flashback here, but it's about risk versus reward. What's the reward of me going on an unhinged rant about something versus the risk? And not so much to me. There's no risk.
I don't give a fuck. Yeah, but you've just said risk reward. No one gets it in their head. I don't fucking need a reward.
Matt, have you ever done a risk assessment?
Yeah, method state.
There you go. That's the same mentality. I'm not talking about an actual physical, tangible reward. I'm just talking about when you categorize two things. So stop twisting the words. And it's about.
But even a mental reward, I don't.
What is the risk and what is the reward? It's just a way of categorizing things. The positive and the negative. Is that better? Is that better for you? Positives and negatives?
Yeah, and that I don't care about really. I just do YouTube. And whatever was on my mind at the time, and as I just said, it was probably a bit more fucking stepped up because I was on some medication. I don't like it, the fact. I mean, Dave, everyone knows Dave is now turning that and saying I'm using the excuse. Go look at his old Twitter posts, probably streams. He'll be the first one to do the whole support mental health thing. But I can't even explain. Things were probably a bit wilder because I was on some mental health medication.
Matt, we're all human. We're all capable of being hypocrites. We're all capable of great good and great evil. Something that I've said to a few people is...
I'm not capable of great evil. I'm not capable of it.
You are capable of great evil. Everyone is. I'm not. Everyone is under the right circumstances. And I would argue that calling people pedophiles is evil.
If I called you once for the
no, you did it to a number of people, mate. You did it to Toprek as well. It was almost like it was a throwaway, and you know that you were calling people Nazis. And yes, I know people were calling you Nazis as well.
I think I'm going to have to put a couple of videos back on to read.
No, I don't think you should. I don't think you should.
No, I should, because I don't think I would have called people that for no reason. I think if it's going to go that way where I need to prove why I said things, I think I'm going to have to bring the podcast back. I think I'll bring my podcast back and put all the shit back together and fucking triple down on everyone. And I'll make now I'm not medicated, I think I'll be able to do a much better job. And I think a lot more people will see my point, and a lot of people that have been earning a lot of money lying to people will get fucked. Because I think I'm going to be
What I would do is not be impulsive, and I would go back and listen to them off stream. I'm happy to sit down and do it with you and listen to some of the things you said and go through why you said it.
Why do people keep saying, why are you giving me a platform? I've got my own platform. No one's given me anything.
Michael, I am not justifying anything. If anything, I think I've been quite combative almost to your point.
I think what it might have been is at the time, me and a few other guys realised that part of the Running Man's Survivor Stream team, one of them came out and he got put in prison for being a paedophile. And at the time,
June 11, 944.
Yeah, I think at the time that was one of the big topics, and we were all questioning how are people not letting the public know? Why were people not letting the public know?
Okay, I'm glad you brought this one up because I'd kind of forgotten about this one. But yeah,
Yeah,
I do
that's
remember
why
this
I
now.
was saying, well, are you a paedophile as well? No one wanted to let everyone know there was a paedophile in the DayZ community. And everyone was telling me to shut my mouth, exposing a paedophile. So I was asking, why are you asking me to shut my mouth when a convicted paedophile was hiding in the Survivor Stream
Okay,
team?
there's a lot more to this now that I remember it all.
Yeah.
And I knew June. I'd actually bumped into him once on the old. There was a really hardcore server back in the day,
And then guess what? The
run
running
by
man
Jay.
left the stream team not long after that, so I did good there. I made Paul, who's not a paedophile. Paul's a very good man. He makes a lot of mistakes, and I've got grievances with him. But Paul is a good guy. It's the people around Paul that are trying to fucking use him to develop their careers. They're the bad people. Now I understand why he left, because he didn't have a clue this was going on. So let me clear Paul's name straight away. I know I've had grievances with him, but the running man's got nothing to do with this, by the way. But I was just questioning why no one was exposing him. And I have got an answer now. I do know why that is. Because it would do no good for Paul to go on a stream with tens of thousands of people and go, by the way, there was a paedophile in my stream team. Of course not. I've now thought about that, and I understand why Paul never mentioned it. So I would like to apologise to him for that live. I understand why he didn't help for me let everyone know there was a pedo in the DayZ community, because children watch his channel as well. And he couldn't make a YouTube video about it, because the first thing that would have happened when you typed in the running man would have been him saying, oh, I apologise, there's a paedophile in the community. That would have done no good for DayZ, no good for his business or anyone else's. So I will apologise for that. And I think that's one of the reasons he stepped away.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Because I've got some logic that I need to insert into this, because I remember
just wanted
this all
to
very clearly.
apologise and make it clear I weren't blaming TMZ for any of this.
At the time, it was allegations.
No, it wasn't allegations. I had the Crown Court's case number.
You got that later. Because I was pushing back at the time and going.
You lot got it later. You all got it later. I had to keep it a secret. Don't forget, I had this information a long time, and so did others before you.
Why did you have to keep it secret?
Because it was sensitive. That's why. Because it was in process. And I was asked by the people that were finding out the information. People, don't forget, contrary to popular belief, a lot of well-known people trust me in this community, and to this day,
there's a lot of people who agree with you. I get it. I get it.
To this day, I constantly get tip-offs, and I was asked to keep it under wraps for a few weeks, and I did that. And I still, to this day, keep a lot of things quiet because I get asked to.
So you had inside information that no one else had privy to. They were only going off of the statement of a guy who'd made some very unhinged rants at times, calling people pedophiles, Nazis, all the rest of it. And you held them in contempt for not agreeing with you based on what you said without any physical evidence.
No one knew about it until the unhinged guy, which happens to be me, made the video.
Yeah.
You see? Yeah. So no one was going on at me before, because no one knew about it before my video came out. I think you've got your timeline a little bit sort of skewed.
And did you produce the evidence in that timeline?
Yes.
And did you, from memory, did you produce evidence that indisputably proved that June 11, 944 was this, I can't remember the guy's name.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
I don't recall being like that, because I remember that was my concern, because in the UK, there are very strict laws about disclosing allegations and so on.
Exactly, which is why I had to wait a couple of weeks before I released the video. I had the information. I held on to it until I was able to release it. I then released it, and then everyone found out about it. There was no anyone knew before, and I withheld information.
Mate, my memory is that the first person that I was aware of was Aussie Rogue, who released the information about it, because Aussie Rogue.
Oh, he might have done. He might have done, but he didn't have the evidence to substantiate it.
Yeah.
I did, because I was entrusted with it, and then I was given permission to release it, and then I subsequently did that. Now that's where the whole me calling, if people were disputing the evidence I had, which they were, I in my mind was going, well, are you one too? How can you dispute this? This is a fucking crime reference number. Are you a fucking pedo as well? That would be the context that I called people it in, because I do not go around calling people it.
It's not the context you called
Can
me.
we just talk about DayZ, because the new update's fucking amazing.
No, I said we're going to start with the controversial stuff, and then we'll talk about that, because there's a lot of people who don't want to listen to either of us, but they will be interested in this. But for a lot of people,
I can't see the chat.
You just click on the stream tab next to the window, and you'll have the entire chat there. And you just got to make sure it scrolls down.
MattZee's a cunt. MattZee's a cunt. Okay.
It is not. I haven't seen a single person say that. But yeah, so a lot of people were just trying to be cautious. Was my take on it. I don't recall anyone outright saying he wasn't. The majority of everything I saw about it was people saying, "Are we certain? Are we certain? We need to make sure of this." Now, you talked about, and you had a really, really big go at the survivors for having a pedophile in it. What about the church? What about Boy Scouts? What about politicians? What about
100%, dude? 100%. But I'm a DayZ.
But should the Pope leave the church because one of the priests is a pedophile?
I'm not a preacher channel. I'm not a mechanics channel. I'm not a construction channel. I'm a DayZ channel, and I take every challenge head on at the time that DayZ and the wider community presented behind the scenes. I weren't going to talk about the fucking church because that didn't affect DayZ. This was things that was happening in DayZ at the time. That's why. It was a target niche. It's a niche.
And you went after them all saying, how could you not know you had a pedophile amongst them? Now, Aussie Rogue, he was a moderator for June, and he had plans to go on a holiday with him. And when he found out
I was friends with him too, yeah.
Yeah, so hang about, you were friends with him. How did you not know?
Well, nobody knew. That was the point. But
you had a go at the survivors for...
Yeah, and it was always, now we know, why aren't we telling hundreds of... I think June had like 20,000 subscribers across different channels. The point always was, now we know unequivocally with certainty, why are we still allowing people to be giving paid subscriptions where he can spend that money in prison while he's serving a sentence for peer? I and many other people were questioning why his whole stream team, who now knew about this, were not letting people who were subscribed to his channel and his Twitch with live financial subscriptions, not let them know, guys, he has been convicted for paedophilia. You need to unsubscribe to his content in case it pops up on your feeds. You need to stop financially supporting him while he's in prison for being a pedo. And there were even people that went out of their way on my video to subscribe to his channel out of spite, to give him financial reward while he was in prison for paedophilia. That's how sick some people in this community are. But I digress. That was why I wanted people to know, so they could stop sending him the financial support. And excuse me, as a parent, I'd want to know if there was a fucking paedophile on my TV screens every day. So I was never accusing them of being one. I was saying, if you are public representatives or representatives of this game or this platform, surely you should let people know that there's a paedophile in our midst. Get him off your fucking screens. Stop sending money to him. That's what happened. That's what my grievance was. I was the only person that fucking tried to stop people supporting a paedophile. And for some reason, I'm fucking Satan. I wanted a pedo not to be living the life of luxury. I was the only one doing it publicly. You find a video, you find anyone who put their balls on the line and made a video letting everyone know. You fucking won't. Sorry to swear,
I don't know what the laws are in the UK, and I'm not going to put up a fucking video.
You're allowed to do that.
But someone's said in chat here, it's a very valid point. Why did Aussie Road come out with the information about June and then very quickly delete all his tweets about it? Because it turned into an absolute shit fight. Because he came out very early on and it was basically, I think he'd been told by a family member, and it was a case of, bro, you need to be very careful about this because there's lawsuits and shit like that. And it all became too much for him mentally. So yeah, there was nothing untoward that I'm aware of. I spoke with him behind the scenes about it, and he convinced me with just how disgusted he was. He planned on going to a soccer match with June while he was in the UK on a holiday or something, and then to find that out, as we see in all walks of life. We find out stuff about people, and you go, "I would not have seen that coming." Rolf Harris,
Dave,
fucking Jimmy Savile, some big name people, and
say I was legally told to stop. If I was legally told to stop, there would have been legal actions against me or cease and desist, and I would have stopped. Dave, you can't just say you were legally told to stop when I fucking wasn't. A load of streamers told me to stop. There was no legal about it because everything I did was completely legal. When someone is convicted and it's public knowledge, you're legally allowed to put it in public spaces, Dave.
Like I to this day, even though I asked, I still haven't seen anything other than I can use my logic and go, the guy has not been active for ages, but I have not seen anything that definitively proved to me that this person that I saw in some of those court documents is the same person as June 11, 944.
But you can say that about anything, for God's sake, in life.
Yeah.
You can say
until and look, it's called CYA, cover your ass. Until I see that, I will not definitively say that June 11, 944 is a convicted pedophile because I can't.
I didn't need to cover my ass. I thought my reputation was less important than letting people know that they were financially.
It's not about reputation. It's about lawsuits. Well, you can get sued for fucking shit tons of money.
You can't, and I haven't because
you said you've got the concrete evidence. You said you've got the concrete evidence.
If I was wrong, I would have suffered the consequences, and I haven't because I was right. I was always right. I did the right thing.
Even when you are right about something, doesn't make you immune. Like I don't know the UK legal system. I don't know what you can and can't say without breaching a law.
I do. People need to accept that I did what I did. There's been no legal repercussions.
Even lawyers don't know. Even lawyers, but for every argument, there is a lawyer defending against it, and there is a lawyer prosecuting it. So even lawyers argue over the law. Anyone who thinks they definitively know the law is wrong because it's always being challenged.
We're giving that pedo way too much airtime. Right,
I think it's good to bring it up again because it's raising awareness of it.
Okay,
be careful who you DM.
It's done. And my main concern when we're on the subject is I want to reiterate I'm very apologetic to Paul, the running man. He never fucking knew this guy. It's like the Mr. Beast situation, right? Ava, one of Mr. Beast's employees, has got done for talking to underage people. At first, they were angry at Mr. Beast because he's the big guy. Now everyone's realised Mr. Beast was so busy, he never fucking knew. He can't control what people do behind his back. And again...
Right, I don't think that's a good analogy. That'd be like, if you're comparing those two, it'd be like Paul was
Paul never knew what was going on
in June's house and saw naked girls' cartoon drawings on the wall or something like that, and just went, that's weird.
Point. What I'm trying to do is let everyone know that under no circumstances was put the running man involved in that. Neither did he condone it, and he made the right choice by not exposing it on his platform to people to tarnish the game.
He honestly has no obligation to, other than the fact that there was a stream team that they were in, and it would do more damage to him and many others to have spoken about it because the court system apparently caught the guy and he was removed. And you had raised awareness of it, and many others had raised awareness of it. So, okay. I think we've done all we need to on that one. Do you have anything you would like to say to Toprek?
Spierdala, gówno jebane.
And what does that mean?
Fuck off, you twat in Polish. No, I'm joking. If he's not a cheater, cool. If he is, cool. I've never said anything apart from I'm convinced of it. We're not talking about fucking murder or anything. I truly still believe he's up to something no good. That's my opinion. If you like it,
You're
cool.
entitled
If
to
you
it.
don't, fuck off. Zampany
But
Morden, shut your mouth. Don't
you know,
talk to me. I think he is.
unless there's a lot of other people in on it.
Oh, by the way, I do speak quite a lot of Polish. Quite good for a
No,
racist.
you made that clear in the past. I was quite impressed. It's a rather niche language as well. So
Dzień dobry.
Murray's
I've
got a
got
good
a lot
point
of
there.
Polish
So
friends.
if the running man didn't know and he's okay for that
friends.
reason, how come it's not the same for the rest of the survivors?
Ask yourself why the running man has left the Survivor Stream team. It's because they're a bunch of cunts.
No, that's not why he left it. It's because he is a very successful brand. And
it's convenient he left it around the same time I was exposing all their cheating, lying, deceit, and hate, and a paedophile, isn't it? Fucking out of his career. How long has his career been? Come on, man. Come on.
He never really ran it. He never really ran it. It
no,
was more
I know
just,
he didn't really run it, but
because when I was in it, Spaggy was pretty much running the behind the scenes. And
if you don't like it, don't watch
Paul
it.
distanced himself from a lot of stuff around the same time. He, I think before that, he asked Spaggy to shut down the Running Man server. And now he's just focused on his brand. It's actually smart business from a business perspective, which is good to segue nicely into the next point, monetization, which I know is something.
You realise that he just needs to focus on himself and stop helping others.
I don't think you did anything there. I think that's just his own evolution.
I said help, yeah.
And the fact that he has worked in some senior management levels in retail and that, but he eventually got to the point.
But you just keep going on and on. Murray, you're the most active person in the chat. You keep talking. What is the question? So if Running Man, So if Running Man didn't know, and he's okay for that reason, how come it's not the same for the rest of the stream team? I'm not saying it is or it isn't, but Paul's the biggest one. He's used as the example. Do you want me to talk about every single fucking individual?
No, I don't think you should talk about the collective, the stream team. That you didn't know. Aussie Rogue, his senior moderator, didn't know.
Let me reiterate. I apologise to all of them about that thing. It was best they didn't help expose it. It was best that I and Aussie Rogue were the ones to do it, because we didn't have financial repercussions to think about. We didn't have a massive audience that would tarnish the game to think about.
I think more importantly, you said you had actual physical evidence, and Aussie Rogue had contact with a family member. So I think that's the main reason why it was best it came from YouTube.
It's easier to get answers to questions out of people when you don't say, "Oh my God, what a joke this guy is," and then expect a question to be answered. Just fucking calm down. Don't call me a joke, and then I'll probably answer your question. I bet there's a fucking weasel behind his keyboard.
Now, another issue that I know has been one that has fired you up in the past is about monetization and gaming.
Yeah, I really don't like it that much. I understand it, but I respect it. It's a good trade. I myself earn a bit of passive income from gaming. I'm not interested in it, but it's there. It goes in the bank. I want my arsehole with it. But the people.
Wish I had that much money.
Most important. Gaming specifically, I don't think the most important thing at the forefront or the priority should be the people that make money. That should be in the background. Shut your fucking mouth. Get on with your business. If you're earning money off it, good on you. Don't let your financial reward or your financial gain, where gaming's concerned, have an adverse effect on millions of gamers that use it as an escape from stress or problems in their life or mental issues or any number of things. Gaming's a really sacred space that billions of people use around the world. It's the only thing most people have got, working class people specifically have got, as a holiday, as a form of escapism. And when streamers use their incentive to financially game off gaming, and they affect gamers and make their experience miserable, that's when I don't like it. And that unfortunately happens a lot, especially with
But Matt,
DayZ.
that's again, that's one of those things with everything in life. And like, it's something
It
that
is one of those things with everything in life. But my niche is DayZ, so I target the DayZ audience with my grievances.
My niche is DayZ as well, and survival games in general. But it was something that always taught me, and I'm of the opinion that if you want to monetize it. People will vote with their wallets. If you want to do it pro bono, if you want to do it, the people like Hunter Z, like Rag Tyson, who just put all these amazing mods out, and they're free mods that anyone can use. That is fantastic as well. But it should be up to you to do it whichever way you want, provided it's ethical. I hate corrupt people who, basically, I'm a capitalist whore.
Crybabies who want attention for it, like Zad, who made his tech. He done it for free, and then he just constantly wanted attention for it, didn't he? Then he took it down. But he was one of a kind.
There's nothing wrong with that. Like, mate, everyone is different.
If people weren't saying thank you to him every 10 seconds, the guy would have a paddy and take the map down.
It's rather okay. I'm going to call you out here, mate. It's rather ironic. You've been going on about mental health, and someone who was clearly having mental health issues, and you're criticising him for it.
No, he constantly wanted thanks for it. Whenever a new map came out, he got in a paddy and wanted everyone and got bitching. He started bitching about everyone not playing his map, and he was criticising other people's maps, and then everyone had enough of it in the end and called him out. He had a fucking bitch fit and took it down.
There was more to it than that. There was more to it. He got accused of, I think, some Nazi stuff as well. I'm not sure what it was, but it was all you were doing it as well. Everyone was throwing words around, and still do to an extent.
But most of us don't know this information. That's why I did what I did with my shitty podcast. All of this information is kept under wraps between a few people, and then when someone says something wrong, everyone freaks out, but the information is never available to us normal fucking people. That's why I started making the information available to people, and people fucking hated it. And then, of course, I was missing a lot of information because everyone keeps it to themselves. Maybe if everyone talked and stopped keeping everything to themselves because they think they're some power trip fucking streamer content creator who's got this magical power of information nobody else has, maybe things would get better if everyone just spoke about everything and let the wider fucking audience know. Keep everyone in the loop. Then I wouldn't be here, would I? Because we'd all have the answers we need about situations. Maybe that's the root
people
cause.
Were doing that. That's pretty much what I was doing with 87.8 with the DayZ podcast. I've got the Creator Club Discord now.
A lot of things that were going on.
Such as?
Talk about body. Well, probably a lot. A lot of the things I was doing, you weren't doing.
I hold back on stuff that I can't verify. This is probably the wildest interview I've ever done.
Actually, you're right there. Yeah, you're right there, Boydie. You've got a good point. You hold back on things that can't be verified. I just think your verification process, and I think it got stricter when Cobra joined, and thanks for your service, Cobra. I'm a big fan of the police, by the way. He's an ex-policeman. I think you got even stricter when Cobra joined. I think, and I respect it, I think you're way too careful. And again, I agree with how careful you were. I just went balls deep. And if I had enough information, and a lot of the stuff I said was factual, most of it, then I'd go for it. Booah!
It's my mortar platoon flag, Dorkwing. One of my mates who's no longer with us, he committed suicide, sadly, quite a few years back, but he went overseas and he had them made. And I've had that flag for coming on 30 plus years now. Be about 1995, 1996 I got it. But it's we were called the Morticians, and our unit's logo was Death from the Other Side of the Hill. Something we're not allowed to do anymore because death iconography for soldiers is apparently bad, even though soldiers, soldiers. But yeah, that's that flag.
That's on the Royal Lancers, the Tottencop.
I just realised it's a black flag with white writing on it. People might think I'm part of Al Qaeda or ISIS or something now, but yeah.
Allah Akbar.
But no, it's I get you. and there is a lot of gatekeeping around certain aspects of stuff. But, mate, the best way to combat it is, yes, raise awareness of it, but then actions speak louder than words. Do things like, one of the things I'm most proud of is my content creator club. And we've got nearly 56. Let me just check it now.
Oh, I didn't get invited, did I?
You didn't ask for one.
I'm joking. I'm not a
because
content creator.
I made it. I made it. People have to apply because I want to cull out the people who can't see beyond the petty ideology bullshit that we get, and realize that at the end of the day, we're all just people who love this game, love making content around it. Some of us do it as fun. Some of us do it for a living. And there's a bunch of channels in there, and it is just people who are content creators, and there's not a single skerrick of politics, religion, ideology, anything. We're all in there united around one thing, our love of making content for DayZ and sharing advice and tips on algorithms and stuff like that. That is the way to combat that sort of stuff. Lead by example, Matt.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, Boydie. We've started this conversation off on the worst foot. That's how I feel now. I've got such a good positive attitude towards the game, and I'm regretful for a lot of my decisions, but we're talking in the present tense of the past.
We did need to cover that, and now we're moving on to the present.
I think what people are seeing now is me stepping into exactly the mindset I was in then. Right? That's not how I feel now, but you're asking me to go back in the past, and vocalize how I felt then and why I made the decisions I made then, and I'm getting passionate about it because I will never take back a lot of the things that I said because I was bringing the truth to people to the best of my knowledge. But that's what you've just said is how I feel now. I'm here to enjoy this fucking game again and ignore all those fucking wankers. I've made amends with some of the Running Man's moderators recently. I told them I was coming on here and I said, look, you've got one chance to throw this under the bus so I could tell the public that we've all made amends, and we have.
That's good. That's
2 nights ago.
Again, for those wondering, and there's been people in the chat saying, why did we do this? Because I said to people at the time, there's a lot of information I'm privy to that I feel needs to be made public. And again, we started off hot and heavy. And that's kind of how I wanted to do it, to get that over with. And now we can move on to some nicer stuff, because I don't think we need to bring up any more. We spent nearly an hour and a half talking about history and stuff like that.
Have we?
But now we're going to be moving on to the more positive stuff. You did worry me when you said you're thinking of bringing back your podcast. Can I say please don't?
No, I'm not, but that's what happens when people provoke me, because I've got nothing to lose.
Bro, you need to work on that. That's a you issue.
No, I'll never change. I'm 35, dude. I'm 35.
Mate, I'm 51. Don't give me that fucking bullshit.
You're not. Fucking hell. Daddy.
I am 51. Yeah, I'm technically old enough to be your dad. But no, this is something that you need to work on. It's why I quit the podcast, mate. I realized I can't give any more. I was starting to get a bit bitter and twisted at stuff. And I thought, rather than contribute negatively to the show and the community, plus adding all the issues with the time zones and all the rest of it, it just, coming up to last year's Christmas show, which is usually my big one, I had no excitement about it. And I didn't feel the love there. So I went, I think it's time. I think it's actually time now to end it.
I'm not on cocaine. I stopped cocaine New Year's.
You stopped it on New Year's?
Yeah, I had a little blast around with friends New Year's, and that was it. I'm fucking done with that. It's a mugs game.
Were you doing cocaine back in the day when you were doing those interviews?
I've struggled with cocaine addiction for years. A lot of people have. Don't forget, I work in the construction industry.
That explains a lot. I didn't know that about you, but that explains a lot.
I was one of the more, you could categorize success how you want, but for a working class man who's had a fucking terrible upbringing, I succeeded in life very well. I'm highly qualified, highly time served, and highly skilled in my trade. And with that comes a lot of financial reward. And with that comes the higher level of working class idiocy which is having very expensive tools, nice clothes, nice things, and spending hundreds of pounds on cocaine every night. I put my fucking hands up to it, dude. I'm not proud of it. Don't fucking do drugs, kids. It's a fucking mugs game.
Good on you.
Yeah.
Reach out to me, bro, if you're feeling fucking weak.
I was trying to say to Dave, I love Dave. Me and Dave are made up, but he's very provocative because he just said I'm using it as an excuse. I'm not. I was just saying at the time I was diagnosed with severe depression. Nobody knew that. I was on citalopram, strong doses for antidepressants. And I was struggling with a cocaine addiction. I'm not saying, Dave, I'm using it as an excuse. I'm just saying, to put it into context, at that time, that's what was going on in my life. And that's why I was using DayZ as an escape from my problems. And that's why I fight for gamers who haven't got a voice.
Sin has got it in the chat there. And Sin is another guy. Sin, his name stands for Steady Your Nerve. Yeah, he's a big mental health advocate as well. But yeah, I don't drink. Even when I went to Prague, I think I might have had a beer maybe with the rest of them. But the only person I had a few drinks with is my missus, because I know what I'm like. I drink and I turn into a bit of a cunt. I think I'm funny, but I can be a real cunt. And that's just, a product of my upbringing. And my my time in the army and all the rest of it. I have a sense of humor that most people don't roll with. And when I get drunk, it gets fucking worse. It gets way worse. So I just chose not to. I barely drink now. I've got alcohol. I'm not anti it. I did that drinking stream with Mr. Blackout. That's the last time I got drunk. But I just stay away from that stuff now.
Cocaine's not in your system after about 48 hours, dude. So.
But no, anyway, but with the monetization side of it, I think it's just a case of, I get it. And if you see egregious stuff, there are some pay to win servers and they should all be called out. There are some scammers. There's a lot of fucking scammers at the moment around, doing mods and all the rest of it and setups. And you've got to be very careful. But at the end of the day, buyer beware. And if there's a free alternative out there from someone who's trusted, such as a MattZee or a Rag Tyson and so on, go for it. Dave's got his own stuff that he does. But
I like what Dave does. There's a lot of things about Dave that people will never understand. I gave Dave some shit once, and it was in context. Me and Dave I consider Dave a DayZ friend. Whether the feeling's mutual, I don't know, but we've made up. What I will say is everyone knows Dave. Putting that aside, because we've made up now, Dave does fucking loads for people, and they take the fucking piss out of him, and it's not fair. Dave doesn't deserve the shit that he gets. Dave is trodden on by a lot of fucking people, and I hope Dave's helped a lot,
stop. But I've said this to Dave as well, but Dave could be his own worst enemy at times
for
the same reason as you and me. We're all we're three very similar personalities. And it's incumbent upon us to be aware of our shortcomings and failures as people and remember that when dealing with people. When you're about to get riled up, to just take a step back and walk away.
Do you know, I'm going to tell you something. Dave doesn't know this. I'm not allowed to say a few things about Dave. I can't. And
that he does drug deals from his house live on stream?
But when everything really went to shit with me, Dave is one of the reasons I'm back and I'm feeling so positive about this game. Though I'll tell him in private, but he really done a lot for me before I left, and he was one of the people that when I was recollecting my thoughts when I took my break, Dave's one of the reasons I've come back for just a couple of small things he did for me. He put his hand out for me before I left, and he's one of the reasons I came back. So people need to stop fucking with him. And there's a certain group they happen to be females, British female streamers that give Dave all the shit. And that's the thing with all this. Have you noticed? It's all fucking British streamers that cause the problem. And I'm British.
Because you're a bunch of moaning cunts.
Yeah,
all of you, male and female. You're all fucking moaners.
I've had enough of my own people, man.
Paul's always moaning about the fucking weather. You're always moaning about fucking Nazis and pedophiles. The girls are all fucking moaning about Dave, apparently. I haven't seen that.
I'm not 100% British, so let's go to the next
And then you got these friendly wankers who just moan about fucking the fact that they're born.
No, dude, I'm going to move this podcast on for you. We're talking about race. Right. I am English till I die. Look, I've got England tattoos everywhere. And again, it's because I keep my cards close to my chest. Now, you remember Chris Ish? His wife, this podgy Indian woman, right? She was one of the
Careful.
female streamers. No. Hear me out, guys. She was giving me so much shit on this hate campaign, and she mentioned the way I looked. So I took one look at her photo on Twitter. I forget her fucking name, but her husband is Chris Ish, and she made remarks at my look. So I looked at her photo, and I made a remark at how ugly she looked. She then fucking accused me of being a racist because I said she was ugly because she's Indian. What I never told anyone, and I'm going to tell everyone this now because it's hilarious. I'm actually 26% Indian, you stupid bitch. But I never told anyone because I didn't want to buy into, well, I'm Indian too, right? I called her ugly because she called me ugly. And because she got so offended by being called ugly, she called me racist for calling her ugly. It was nothing to do with the colour of her skin. She did not know, and to this day, did not know until this moment, that I am 26% Indian. Right, I'm nearly as Indian as her. So that's
Remember
how
when you
race
called me
bait
out when I admitted that I was part African?
No. Tell me.
You must have been having some fucking absolute
Oh,
blind of fucking cocaine
I
sessions,
kept-
bro.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
I reckon you need to. I reckon you need to go back and watch all these while you're sober. Just it seems like you don't remember a lot of fucking shit because I can't even remember how it got brought up. But I pointed out that I'm actually. I think the DNA's now as it gets better with improvement. I think I'm like 7 or 8% Nigerian, Eastern Bantu,
nice.
Congo, and I'm slightly dark. And I think I was raised, and you made fun of me for it because I said, yeah, someone was calling me racist, and I was like, bro, I suffer fucking it occasionally. Both my wife and my son have been present with me when people have racially profiled me, called me insulting names and that. And I'm fucking half deaf. I usually miss it, and they're the ones who hear it. And the time it happened with my son was the most recent, and the look on his face, he was like, did he just say what I thought he said? And it was basically, someone said to me, I should be grateful for living in this country. And I just looked at him, and I'm one of the most proud nationalistic, not socialist people. Don't fucking try and put anything in my... but I'm very proud of being Australian. And when people ask me what I am, I say I'm Australian first and foremost, mate. I'm mostly Scottish. I'm mostly Scottish, but I'm a mix of... I'm an absolute... I just call myself I'm a mongrel. I'm a mongrel blend of a whole pile of different things. But, bro... You got
me and you should do a podcast, and we should call it Mongrels, but with a Z at the end. The Mongrels.
You got debated. You got debated by them because they were looking for a way to be able to just throw labels at you. And again, this is on you.
You can
choose to get down in the fucking gutter and argue with these people if you want, or you could just say, you're beneath me. I'm not going to waste my fucking time on you.
So why can't we agree, though, that they are these people? It blatantly is a group of fucking mostly British streamers causing all these fucking issues for everybody. They're fucking vicious little nasty bastards, man. Because most of us are really positive, happy people, and they bring out the worst in you because they think they're going to lose a couple of subscribers.
Sorry, I'm just looking for something here so someone can have a bingo card.
I'm trying to find my race card now so I could use it in the future. Where is it?
I thought I had a book which would have had it on, but obviously I haven't set that up yet in the background. Do you like my new gaming background, by the way? This was a Christmas present from the missus.
It's beautiful. Beautiful.
Dave wants to know what you're drinking.
Watermelon juice. You know Rubicon? Have you heard of a brand called Rubicon? They do watermelon juice, so I'm drinking watermelon. No alcohol.
No, not going there. Not going
there.
Go
there. What is it? Hit me, baby. Come on. This is for entertainment. The people are loving it. It's not going to happen again. If it does for a long time, hit me with it. The worst. I'm up
the African in me really wants some watermelon juice right now.
Oh, okay, go get it. I thought you were going to bring up some sorry subject. I was well excited.
No. Everything is fair game for a comedy is my philosophy, and I'll stand on that hill. If it doesn't land with you, go somewhere else. But yeah, okay. So I think we've covered the monetization aspect of it. Like, I get it, and it's good to have people who are out there trying to monitor it and make sure that people aren't abusing it. But at the same time, horses for courses, mate. If people want to monetize it, let them monetize it. Yeah. It's over. Podcast can't come back. Bloidy's racist confirmed. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, man. If you heard the jokes that we make in this house about me, and yeah, it's hilarious. I love it. But anyway, okay. What is your plans for the future, Matt?
To keep playing DayZ. Keep making my shitty videos. I started to get quite good at editing before I took a break. If you look at my Z Mouse videos, there's 2 videos and my editing got really good. Well, good for me. It's called YouTube because it's me having fun. So I thought I got quite good. I'm back on Xbox now, so it's really difficult. But I really enjoy editing, and I really enjoy playing DayZ, and I really enjoy showing my small group of friends the videos, and then my YouTube channel's just fucking growing every day. So I just keep planning to making DayZ videos, and I just try to do things differently. I've always been like this, but no one's ever seen it, or they've shut me down for it because the streamers didn't want my wild role play in front of their viewers, because I think they were scared that ears were going to get perked up. Like, who's this guy?
You fall into a bit of the Archie category, in that you push the boundaries of what many people consider acceptable in their role play, and I don't agree with that.
I don't think I do.
You've got to remember if there's rules about the community you're playing on, because it's a case of you're in their house. Some people don't like that.
DayZ's got a lot of clothes, right? So when I find police uniforms, I made a police series. When I find medic stuff, I roleplay as a medic. When I found a dress, I roleplayed as a woman. Then the game was getting heavily politicised by trans activism and LGBTQ, so I decided I'd do some gay roleplay. I've roleplayed as loads of different things, and I'll continue to do that. What I plan to do, and I've always done it, but I'm going to push it harder, is I'm going to push the roleplay aspect. But I don't roleplay on roleplay servers, although I've just joined one. I do it on KOS servers. I want to push the boundaries, because everyone just goes on 0 servers and they all just go for kills. I think DayZ's more than just logging into a server, meeting your friends at the airfield and shooting. I really want... There's a young generation of my TikTok. I've only had my TikTok for a few weeks, has blown up, and I've noticed a lot of young people are playing DayZ, and a few people have said, MattZee, what is this game? Right? So I want to push all the different types of servers, all the different types of mods, all the different roleplay aspects you could do in the game, because all people are seeing is the same old shit. People not roleplaying, they're being the character, they're being themselves, running to the airfield, getting a gun and killing. There's so much more to this game. Stories.
You just got to remember, though, with the role play side of it, if you're playing on a community server, the community server will have rules and guidelines of what is and isn't allowed, and you're in their house. So, but otherwise,
I'm not talking about breaking rules. I'm not talking about breaking rules. I'm talking about if I find a stab vest and a shotgun and a police cap, then I'll just pretend I'm the fucking police and try and be entertaining like that. I'll meet completely random survivors on a server, and I'll say, put your hands in the air, this is the police, and I'll try and arrest them. I've always done stuff like that.
Yep. No, that's good.
This year, I want to push loads of different characters, and I really want to try and
don't get into the politics and the ideology stuff of it.
If people leave me alone, I'll leave them alone.
They're not going to leave you alone, Matt. They're not going to. You've got to be an adult and realize people aren't going to leave you alone. You've got a legacy, and there's a lot of people who just can't look past and see that someone may have grown or developed or in any way, shape, or form. They're going to continue to bring shit up, and it's up to you to either bite or just walk past it. Just, okay, fair enough. It's like, this is it. I'll catch you later. And that's what I did. I left something that meant a lot to me. Being in this special group of people who all got chosen by BI, much to the detriment of many people that I got chosen to go to Prague. And I left that group because it wasn't beneficial for me, and I was a detriment to that group. So I could have stayed there and I could have fought, but it was like, you've got to be a bit selfish as well, Matt. You've got to look at it. What joy does it bring you to constantly be fighting everyone?
Not a lot. No.
What joy does it bring you just to have fun and play?
Yeah, every joy in the world. And specifically this game. This game is fucking amazing.
Obviously for you, it's a choice of at the time and how you're feeling mentally at that time as well. My advice, just call it quits. Just move on from that server. Say, look, I'm sorry you feel that way. I'll catch you later. I'm going elsewhere.
I didn't know that at the time, though, and I wasn't thinking that way at the time. I was where I wanted to be, and unfortunately, I realised the people that were where I wanted to be weren't the people I thought they were. I should have moved on, but I didn't. What I tried to do is change their bad behaviour to what I thought should be acceptable. Sorry, it's a lot to get out.
Look at the outrage that there was about me doing this interview.
Stay away from streamers. Stay the fuck away from streamers if you want to enjoy this game. It might be fun for a while, but
stay away from some streamers. Some streamers are awesome to be around. No, not most. Most of them are just doing their thing, having some fun, and trying to maybe make a living out of it.
Like Echofish is awesome, Freshborns are awesome, FT is awesome, even the Running Man's awesome.
Okay, stop for a second here. The person who's been most critical in chat, Murray, mate, look what he just wrote, mate.
Be the bigger bloke, mate. Stay out of it. Yeah, it's hard to be the bigger bloke when you know people are being bullied behind the scenes.
That's on you.
And they don't have a voice. It happened to me. I learned it's happening to other people, and I wanted to help and at least let people know. Stay the fuck away from them. They're disgusting people. They're in it for the money, and that's it.
Ask around, learn. Find out.
Even a lot of the decent streamers will agree with me. That's why they stay the fuck away from them. It is most of the streamers.
Look, mate, I'll say right now, many streamers are egotistical and selfish prats. And when you're watching a stream, if that person is continuously saying stream sniping, cheating, things like that, then you know that that's probably someone not to keep watching because it happens. Firstly, you shouldn't really call it out because the people who might be doing it, if they are generally thriving on that attention. It's one of my biggest issues with Shroud was when he highlighted that streamer in PUBG, that cheater, and flew around in the car with him. It was like, bro, like, why would you do that? Yeah, I know the game's broken and all, but like you, when you interviewed so-and-so and showcased it, all he did was just added credibility to it because everyone's out to get their 5 seconds of fame. Look, again, I'm doing a generalism here as well, but a lot of people are out to get their 5 seconds of fame.
Do you know Chinaris has fallen, right? And I'm not big-headed. But this is the truth, and anyone who was on Chinaris has fallen will back me up. I brought a lot of joy to that server, and I was minding my own business, right? Some of the Survivors members, because I put some videos out, then Geckofish joined, and obviously he's a big name. They all realised that Chinaris has fallen.
One of the best out there.
Hold on. They then realised, fuck, Chinaris has fallen is where the content's at, right? So they all started joining. Now, I was quite well developed in that server at that time. I was bringing a lot of joy and stories to people, right? Dr. Dryce joined, and completely legitimately, I killed him, and he got really pissy, right? Then Cracks and Jug, Dr. Dryce from the Survivors, he didn't like it. Then Cracks and Jugs joined Chinaris has fallen. I ended up in a situation where I killed him and 2 of his mates, and all of their stream watched it. They then got so pissed off with it that I was a big part of that server, and I was winning fights against them, and everyone on that server fucking loved me and the game I was playing, the role play I was doing. They fucking put a hate campaign out, and they bullied the Chinaris has fallen admin team into fucking banning me from the server. And And the admin team from Ciao Has Fallen had to fucking step away from mental health. Exactly everything I just told you. Exactly what they do to innocent people. They fucking bully everyone. They bully everyone into submission. And that happened in front of everyone's faces. That's what the Survivor stream team does. That's what a lot of streamers do. And that happened in front of all of your faces. And for people to sit here and tell me I'm wrong, it isn't most of them, or it doesn't happen, and I shouldn't be fighting for the right for people to enjoy this game without getting bullied by fuckwit streamers, is absurd. It happens in front of our faces all the time. That literally, the server admin team had to get away because they got bullied into submission. I was on that server before any of them.
I think
bringing absolute joy. Look at all the videos. Go on my YouTube. Ciao Has Fallen videos. I've got loads. Some of my recent
not
shorts,
knowing the full situation,
amazing.
But I can put that down to you did a lot of things that you regret at that time. You were making a lot of accusations about them. I'm going to assume, hopefully, that some of them may regret some of their actions as well. I doubt they would admit that because it's easy to jump on the hate bandwagon of MattZee. It's easy to jump on the hate bandwagon of me. Let's walk on fucking right on that at the moment.
I was in a lot of the popular servers, and I don't care what anyone says. This is the truth. I was running into some of them or other streamers who are in their clique. There's about 50 of them. They hated me being on their screens because I was going, "My name's Tina," running around with a broomstick, bashing the shit out of people, role-playing different things, and I was grabbing the attention of their audience members, and they could not fucking stand it that I was up and coming, and I was unique and entertaining, and they were shit scared. That's why they feared me, because I was bringing something different to the table, and that's what I plan to continue doing away from them, because I want to bring different things to the young audience that are going to be moving over to DayZ and have moved over to it. This game's going to catapult, and I'm going to carry on doing it. And they can all fuck off. I'm staying away from them, and I'm going to carry on about my business.
Smart man,
and that
mate.
was one of their
Smart
problems. They hate unique individuals. They hate it because they all just copy each other. That's why you see them. They're all in each other's streams because they go in the same server.
I've been critical in the past about how everyone was playing the day one servers, all hoping to bump into the Running Man Smoke or Shroud or someone like that. To get their 5 seconds of fame and hopefully make it big like some have in the past. But that's something that people have done
the admins didn't think I was
for years gone past.
I got on really well with the admin. The admins knew, and every admin
I asked Mr. Moon if he stream stalked
the streamers followed me onto that
Syndicate. It's something that people have done for years, mate. What's his name?
Yeah.
The guy with who used to stalk Shroud all the time in PUBG, and then started streaming because people found him entertaining. So, and some streamers, they can't handle that. I'm of the belief, and that's what the Creator Club Discord is all about. A rising tide lifts all boats. And if someone's doing something and getting attention from people who follow you, then you probably need to change your things.
That's why everyone hates Archie Stormcloud. Because Archie Stormcloud is not a fucking racist misogynist. Actually, Archie Stormcloud's problem fundamentally is that he is fucking entertaining, and people hate how entertaining he is. And he's unique.
No. His humour is not for everyone. But there's people who literally, the Ricky Gervais scene where they can't walk past a sign about guitar lessons without calling the number and saying, "I don't want any fucking guitar lessons." Archie's humour is not for everyone. Everyone knows I will die on the hill of defending my boy Archie. I won't blindly defend him. He's pushed the boundary at times of his humour, but at the same time, I generally don't believe he's a Nazi. I've heard people say that about him, and I don't agree. He wouldn't be friends with me if he was.
He's a Jew, for fuck's sake.
If he was a white supremacist neo-Nazi.
He's a Jew. He's a Jew.
But he's just got an edgy sense of humour. If that's not your sort of humour, walk past it. You don't need, and this goes in a reverse way as well, Matt. You don't need to rant about everything, to go crazy about everything.
No, I know that now, and I'm trying not to now. This is really the last time, unless people piss me off, and it's just me responding to your questions about the past. Excusez-moi, monsieur. Dankeschön.
Sorry, just replying to a message from the son. There's your interruption for bingo. But yeah, I still haven't mentioned the other one though.
Firekeeper said he remembers it. The CHF admins literally had to fucking ban me because they were getting bullied by streamers who didn't want me on the server, even though I was the only one there first streaming from the server and making videos. Geckofish joined. I was in one of his videos and we had a great time. Everyone was still having a great time. As soon as the Survivor stream team got involved, that's when it all went to shit.
Look,
Nasty,
I don't.
they're bastard people. They really are, and I'll never go back on that.
Hang on, my microphone got turned on my phone.
I got turned on by you.
I'll touch tips in a second.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a bigot, Murray, but he's edgy.
A bigot.
He's just an edge. No. Look, that's people see things differently. Murray and I have had many a conversation, and it always amazes me. And I said this to Murray on many an occasion, but it always amazes me how people can look at the exact same data, information, footage, listen to the same opinion, and view it completely differently. And in our minds, we're both right. Very little in life is black and white. Everything is shades of grey. So some people might not see it the same way. And hey, that's part of what makes life interesting. It'd be very boring if we were all the same and like the same stuff. And that's why there's so many different styles of content creators out there, because everyone likes something different. Me, I like my funny stuff. I don't like watching PvP montages so much of DayZ. That's why I like people like Gecko. He's a funny fucker. This fucking game.
How do I find this chat somewhere else? Because it's not working on my laptop on this app you sent me.
There should be a
on YouTube,
on the right hand bar of the interface we're using. There should be a box up on the top right that says chat.
Yeah, I think it's because I've got a shit laptop.
You can't see the chat box?
Just a poor gamer. Everyone subscribe and send me loads of money so I can buy a new PC. Oh, Archer's in a motorcycle club. I was in an Outlaws motorcycle club too. I think that's why me and
Why does that not surprise me?
Yeah, I was in a full patch member of a motorcycle. That's why I got tattoos all over my hand. I've got the Totten Cop on my hand. I've got.
What can you say the name of the club?
No, it's a Outlaws club. It's an Outlaws support club. Outlaws MC support club. I was in that for a few years.
You're an interesting man, Matt. You're an interesting man.
Yeah, I'm very well.
You're like an onion.
Well.
You're like an onion. You're multi-layered.
Most of these fuckwits trying to get me banned and make out I'm some sort of fucking child. I've been to 21 countries for fuck's sake. I've worked for Irish travellers all around Europe.
Was that because you were on the run from Interpol?
No, I got on the run from Interpol because my passport ran out and I was in Switzerland and got put in the nick when they caught me for drunk and disorderly with an out-of-date passport. I've lived life on the fucking edge. I'm not trying to be some big shot. Look at me, I'm cool. I'm not. But I've genuinely lived life on the fucking edge all my life. And when these little
might be time to calm down. Might be time to slow down, buddy.
No, they thought they had control of everyone because a lot of people are subdued and submissive and scared. They came across me and realised that I wasn't going to have it and I was going to stand up for people and not allow myself or others to be bullied. And then I got aggressive because they made me become aggressive. That's how it is. And that's how I'll always be unless they leave me alone, which I hope after today they will.
Probably not for a while, but just ignore them, mate. Just ignore them. Now, what do you think of DayZ at the moment?
Fucking awesome. It's the best it's ever been. No hand state bugs. Vehicles are working awesomely. All the new mechanics like the fishing and everything is brilliant. Just the new map, weather changes. Just the game is the best it's ever been. I'm so proud and pleased to be playing DayZ. There's nothing to moan about. Nothing to moan about at all, apart from I fucking hate it when you're in the trees and there's those pitter-pattery footsteps they've put in, because now you think there's a player all the time. I sat there for an hour and a half in a tree the other day, convinced someone was walking around me, but it was just the new sounds they've put in. But yeah, it's brilliant. I'm so pleased to be back.
I actually just had a thought then as well. Jake
It's the best game in the world.
Jake Hancho made me think of it. If I was you, I'd probably do a deep dive search of your house just to make sure you've got no cocaine left anywhere, because no doubt, as much as some people love you, someone's probably going to call up certain organisations and say maybe you should do a search of his house.
I don't give a shit. I get on with the police in my local area. They're fine. I've not actually got a criminal record or anything. Just, the worst I've ever done is occasional recreational cocaine use, which I don't do anymore. And that was even sporadic anyway. I've not done it all my life.
Most of our politicians are doing it. So, yeah, it's one of those things. You do you, boo, provided no one's getting hurt, you're not harming anyone. You do you.
In fact, I've got a really good relationship with the police. They helped me a lot. I was having a tough time once, and I'm not going to say the trigger words because, again, people like everyone knows Dave. He'll make a comment that I'm trying to use it for sympathy. I'm not. But I found myself in the police station once because I was having a hard time, and an officer sat down with me and made me feel much better about things and told me some of the things he was going through. There's also been situations where local officers I've walked past and they were losing fights against people, losing a fight against someone, and I stepped in and helped. I'm all for the police. That's why I do police role play, because I'm pro-police. Fuck you if you're not, because you'd soon be crying if something was happening and they weren't there to help you.
Okay, we've done a weave. We've done a classic Donald Trump weave there, mate.
Yeah, we do. I call it ADHD, not ADHD. I just go off in tangents.
Getting back to the comment about the footsteps and that, Firekeeper saying, talking about DayZ, the loud footsteps in 1.27 are dumb, punishes attentive players and helps people who don't pay attention. I've always, again, like I said, I've been quite critical of DayZ of late. I've always thought that they need to have more variety in the reasons why you wear different types of footwear. Sneakers don't last as long, but you're quieter in them. I'd love to see them, we've got broken legs in the game. I would love to see your chances of having a injury when you're wearing sneakers or dress shoes or something like that higher than if you're wearing military boots. But if you're wearing military boots, you're louder and you're slower. I would like to see that level of attention put into that so that there's a conscious choice. Because if you remember when they added in the padded or the bandage footwear, Matt, everyone was wearing them because they were so OP and silent, but they don't last long. But yeah, I would love to see, I didn't understand that because, if you've ever walked on, not on a pavement or anything like that, in bare feet or with, just socks on or something, you feel every stone, you can't run fast without that So I would love to see a bit more and literally no idea what the hell just happened. That was so bizarre. Maybe it was like a 2-hour limit or something. I've never had that issue before, but it just shut everything down and gave me no warning and every stream stopped. Okay, so we were talking about Armour, Reforger. You said, and I get it, there's a lot of people out there, but there's also quite a few who are dabbling in it. There's already been some DayZ style mods created for Reforger and
I can't see it. I'm talking with limited knowledge to how it all works and how long this game's been about. I've done my 5 or 6 years. I don't think there's ever going to be a DayZ 2, just continual better versions of DayZ, which we've seen consistently over my years. I would not play DayZ if it didn't look and feel the way it felt now. It's got that grungy, apocalyptic feel, and I know they can make it look better on Reforger. I just don't see the need, the necessity for it to happen. But I could be wrong. I just don't think. I honestly believe the whole DayZ 2 thing is they've put some DayZ mods on Reforger, and it's a catchy way to get people. It's a great thing to put on YouTube at the minute, isn't it? And
the content creators are always looking for the next big thing. But not all. A lot of them. Some of the people we've mentioned, Tope, Minder, Running Man, etc. They've all stayed true to DayZ over all these years.
Yeah, I just think it's a pipe dream. I mean, I hope it happens for the people that want it to happen. I wouldn't play it.
Well,
Daisy's
if you watch
Daisy.
the interview I did with
What would they call
Thomas,
it? Daisy 2? That's ridiculous.
why wouldn't you?
Daisy 2. Nah, it's not that type of game. It just is what it is, and it's beautiful for all its flaws, which are very rapidly being decreased. That's my opinion. I just think it's because I genuinely love the game so much that maybe it's nostalgia making me want it to never change apart from be progressed.
But yeah,
I don't want
we'll
another
see what
version.
happens, and I'm interested, but at the same time, I think the running animation in Armour isn't as good as DayZ's. I think it's a bit more gamey in some aspects.
You've hit the nail on the head. Gamey.
Yeah.
It's gamey, yeah. Yeah, it's so, like, fake. Oh, yeah, gamey is the word. There's not a word for it, is there? You just, if you know, you know. It's not DayZ.
I just got a good message from a boy working out birthday presents for the missus. I hate February, mate. It's Valentine's Day, my son's birthday, and my wife's birthday all in the same month. It's like I'm a poor man. Donate, tip me, give me some money, donate. Monetize me, folks. Monetize me. Make Matt hate me.
Subscribe to Boydie's channel for more epic content, because we know he's going to start the podcast.
Just so people know as well, I did go in and I've deleted the Twitch stream and the Twitter stream because I changed the VOD of the previous episode to members only until we can finish this, because I want people to be able to watch the whole interview, both parts of it, so they've got everything. No, Dave, DayZ isn't on life support, mate. DayZ was on life support a long time ago.
Man.
No.
It's the fucking best it's ever been, man.
No, it's not. It's not the best it could ever. It's the best it's ever been, but it's not the best it ever could be. Because they're always changing things, and they've made some snafus in the past. Sarkle wasn't as well received as everyone hoped. What do you think about Sarkle?
It's the best thing that's ever happened. It's the best thing that's ever happened. I'm buzzing. It's brilliant.
I think it's nothing from Livoniitis. In that it was a map more designed as a hardcore survival, not as busy as.
May I say, please understand, and I think you're more than aware. I'm coming from. I played PC for 2 years, so I genuinely am PC and console player. You've got to look at this from a console perspective, because to look at it from a PC perspective completely dilutes how amazing it is, because PC has Namalsk, Takistan, or whatever you call it, Melkart, Iztek, where we had it.
Deer Isle, Banov.
You've got to look at how we're bringing new players in now and how we're developing the core game. We can't talk about expansion when we talk about DayZ, really generalising it, because we've got to include console. So it's the best thing that's ever happened, because it's a third map. The other maps are all mods, aren't they? Or what? I'm not clued up on it all. It's the best it's ever been. I'll dispute anyone. The new map's absolutely amazing for vanilla players or standalone players. When you compare it to what's available on PC, yeah, of course it's shit, because it's PC. It's a different world. But PC's not standalone DayZ, is it? It's expansion. I think I've got my terminology right. I'm not very technically minded, but I think what I'm saying is right.
Maybe you'll get better now you're off the coke, mate.
No, I've always just been a bit simple. I'm old, yeah. Fuck me, I remember putting 20p in a phone to make a phone call. I'm sure you do.
Mm-hmm. Not 20p, but 20 cents. But yeah, even our video games were 20 cents a pop, and then they were 40 cents. It was like daylight robbery.
We can't look at new maps that come to standalone, or anything new coming to standalone, from a PC player's perspective, because it's skewed. I love it. I'm a PC player too. I'm back on Xbox now, but
well, that's part of the problem with a lot of content creators who are only one platform. They all forget to consider what the impact of each update means for console. And I get the argument that they wish that it had never gone to console, but the eyes of business. BI is not a charity. They make money, and
most people
the
have
money from
consoles.
console helped keep DayZ alive.
Can I say something?
In the interview with him, he spoke about just how serious things were at some stages during production.
Most gamers, and I'm saying this from a working class background, most gamers are working class people that haven't got lots of money available to them. That's why we spend our time consumed in games, because we can't afford 4 holidays a month. The best thing they could have done was bring it to console. And most people can't afford a PC or don't have the resources for it. So console is such a big part of any successful game. That's why that needs to be. That's why I hate people that look down on console. The PC elitism in any game, especially DayZ, winds me up rotten. Because a lot of people can't afford it. I can, and I'm fortunate to, but most people can't. So we really must consider standalone DayZ when we talk about DayZ, not PC DayZ. Even though I know it started on PC, it isn't anymore. It's evolved.
Dorkwig in chat there. Dang console guys, I don't want to consider you.
I don't blame him, because but yeah, I'm console and PC, and I think console's a very important part of the game now. Yeah, I think PC, in my experience, takes away from DayZ. I didn't even screw all the streaming stuff. The streamers I didn't like, and all the toxicity and stuff. Screw that. Dude, it doesn't even feel like DayZ on most of the servers you play. It's some far-fetched version of Call of Duty. I enjoyed it, but it's not DayZ. Standalone DayZ, when we talk about DayZ, should be what we think about. And as that stands alone, it's fucking brilliant. It's never been.
Yeah, but at the same point, like Dave is saying in chat there, these updates, there's a lot of people who are firm believers that modding is what kept DayZ alive, and to an extent, I agree. But at the same time, a lot of these updates cause a lot of harm to the game for the modders, because the PC is what kept the game going for so long. Until the console release, when they got a fresh cash injection, like Firekeeper saying there, that it was these console money coming in that kept the lights on.
There's not going to be any DayZ mods soon anyway, because the DayZ team decided to write my name on Twitter as the best content creator, probably jokingly. God. Oh, Nathan Warnick's taking all his mods down. Because they mentioned my name. It's funny as fuck. It's probably for the best. We could do with far less people like that think the world owes them a favour because they done something they loved.
Yeah,
take your fucking mods down. DayZ's a standalone.
At the same time, though, mate, it's you, and like a Donald Trump, like a Elon Musk, like Hassan Abi. People hear your name and it invokes a certain reaction, and that's on you that they get that reaction.
I can't help it. I'm that good looking. It's jealous, aren't they? Most of them are fucking. Well,
yes, they are, Matt. Yes, they are. You keep believing that. I call myself the Fabio of DayZ, mate.
Dave's on holiday.
He's
lucky bastard. Dave. Everyone knows Dave's on holiday, and he said in the comments he's gutted he can only watch in 360p. And I said, well, that's pretty fortunate, because me and Boydie are ugly. You're probably best off in 360p.
But Matt, it is nearly 11:30 here, mate. I think we've
got 4 hours left.
No, we've got to call it quits, mate. I've got other stuff I've got to get done.
To talk about. Congratulations to the DayZ team for doing a fantastic job. Thanks to everyone who's accepted me back with open arms. They have. Look at my YouTube comments. The only people you'll see that are pissed off I'm back are streamers. And I'm ever
not
so sorry.
The only people, mate. Not the only people. There are others.
I'm going to apologise to everyone I've hurt, but you shouldn't have fucking provoked me. Let's put it all to bed. I want to continue pushing content out to the new generation on TikTok and YouTube, who are going to see this game, and they're going to see my content, which is going to be positive, and all the other streamers' content, which is going to be positive. Let's stop the hate and start enjoying the game. And if you guys are willing to do it, I am. If you're not,
no. do not be reliant on other people.
No, I've got to do it. I've got to do it.
Yes.
If they want
and
to bring
you
up
just
shit,
you just went against it. Like Nathan, you said Nathan Warwick's name there, Digital High Five Media. He is a good bloke. I've got a lot of time for him. He was
he's not.
No,
he's
not.
Victim.
No, he's not.
He's a born victim.
No,
Look
he's
at his
not.
tweets. Look what he done to the Chinasis Fallen admin
No.
team. He's a bullying victim, striving for success.
He is a human being who is capable of varying degrees of rationality.
But he's so desperate to succeed, he's trying to bully and intimidate anyone
he can.
He is.
Look at the shit. Look at the shit he took with the Bitterroot team when fucking people went after them. No, you've misjudged that guy, and he's gone hard at me over doing this. And he just said he was just about to agree with you on something, and then you go back to your old self. You need to be as cognizant of your weaknesses as they should be of theirs. You fell back into an old thing there. You threw a generic insult at someone.
I misworded it. But it's not a generic insult. This is directly his words that I'm responding to and his actions that I'm responding to. He is a very deep part of the bully train of streamers that bully gamers and server admins if they don't get their own way. And again,
I don't agree that he's like that. I agree he has his opinions, but he and I don't agree on a lot of things, yet I've worked very closely with him. And this comes down to, Matt, you've got to realise that there are times when you just got to agree to disagree on stuff and remember what you have in common with people. You know what you've got in common with Nathan? A lot. You both love DayZ.
Yeah. But
so why focus on the negatives about someone that you do not? When I say negatives, I don't mean that that's a negative about you.
That's all I've seen.
No, it's all you've chosen to see. It's all you've chosen to see. If you look deeper, you can see past it.
Well, I did watch his video he put up, and I really liked it. Where he got a DayZ gift box. I think it was a satirical one. That was quite a cool video. But then I thought to myself, perhaps he should eat more of those apples he got. But yeah.
See, again, you're throwing an insult there. Why?
No, not as comedy. It's funny as fuck.
No.
He's overweight. He should eat more apples.
There was no way to ascertain that was comedy. There was no way to ascertain that was comedy. That's a mistake I've made in the past. My tweet about Lottie and how she went full circle. I thought I was being funny, but I can see that some people would have taken that the wrong way because they didn't see it. Some people had a high enough IQ, in my opinion. And yes, I'm throwing an insult out there, a little bit of a double entendre. But yeah. You've got to realise that some people see things differently, and
some
that's
people
on us.
Don't have a sense of humour, do they?
Yeah, they don't. They don't, but some do, and they'll see it. And I acknowledge that tweet I put out about how the turntables, Lottie's gone full. It was a silly, just a joking comment, not serious at all.
I saw people comparing her to me. Last I spoke to Lottie was when she banned me from her chat. We were playing together quite a lot. And she had to part ways with me because I was getting quite toxic in response to people. And I haven't spoke to Lottie apart from I sent her an apology. I've sent a lot of people apologies, by the way, in private. And then I saw that there was some controversy about her. So I'm quite interested to what that was because she's an amazing person. I don't know. So I'm interested in what it is. If you wouldn't mind telling me, if you don't,
I don't know either. I don't know either.
Okay.
I don't really follow much with her and a few others, but yeah. I'll be listing off these stupid tweets now. I can start, but yeah, it comes back to you just got to have a bit of self-awareness, Matt. That yes, your intention may not have been the way some people perceive it, but you've also got to understand that some people do perceive it differently to you. And
well, their perceptions are not my responsibility, are they? The same with being offended. It's not my responsibility.
I get it, and I am the same. But at the same time, what does it hurt you to say? Look, I'm sorry you took it that way. That wasn't my intention.
I've said that. I've apologised to people that.
And then you just walk away from it. Just walk away from it.
Nathan, I'm sorry for making an overweight joke. It was a genuine joke. But you need to be apologetic because what you did to me, I'm sure you've done to a lot of people. And it's just unfortunate that I'm the first one that was able to show what you've done. And it's obvious to me that all you care about is growing your channel, and you got jealous that my name was mentioned. If I'm wrong, accept my apology, and I'm sorry. There you go. I apologise to everyone that I might have caused harm to. And guess what? I won't get an apology, even though I only got like this, because everyone provoked me into becoming this. But anyway, Daisy's amazing. I'm not going anywhere. Eat it.
And it is time
Because I'm a
to
big
end the
part
stream
of it
now.
as well.
I've got a couple of boys here who need me to take them outside. But Matt, I think we've pretty much covered everything, mate. I really have enjoyed it, and I wish you all the best for the future, mate.
Cheers.
Just
mate.
focus
Thanks,
on the
I
stuff that
appreciate
makes you
it.
happy. It's what I say to a lot of people, mate. Focus
Big
on the stuff
tits
that makes you happy.
and Daisy.
Get yourself a golden retriever. If you can get a golden
got
retriever
Jack
to lick
Russell.
you on, if you can get a golden retriever to lick you on video, everyone knows you're not a bad person.
Oh, you put
Golden
peanut
retrievers-
butter on your balls. Have you put
No,
peanut butter on your
no,
balls?
no. I would never. That's you're. But yeah, guys, thank you all so much. I will put this to members only after the stream because I want to edit it together and put it all into one big video. Don't lick my mouse. But yeah.
Can you put a filter on me so I don't look so disgusting?
Come on, buddy. Down you get. Down you get. I'll take you out for pee in a second.
And
but
can you
yeah.
edit out all of my racist, narcissistic,
No,
misogynistic?
just going to leave it all. Just going to
Please.
leave it all. But yeah, mate, I wish you all the best. Just focus on the positives, mate. You know, like life is too short to worry about the negatives. You know, a lot of people said that this interview was going to bring up old stuff, and yeah, it has. But I wanted to get it out there, and I hope people who, even the ones who hate you, and you know, there's some people in this chat who aren't fans of yours, but they've hung around and they've listened. And you know, even Nathan was about to say he was about to agree with you on something. We all have more in common than we don't have, and it's important that we realize that and forget about the facts that, boys, calm down. Forget about the facts that we disagree on other stuff. Like Bad Daddy says, now the healing can start.
Everybody, and admit, obviously me, but I've took nearly all of my bad stuff down. Everybody needs to be more responsible for each other.
Yeah.
Stop putting up mental health streams, but not
everybody
caring about
needs
mental
to,
health
but not everyone is going to be. And even some of your biggest detractors, Luke Light himself, even messaged me and said, yeah, he doesn't like you for a lot of the things you did and said, but he was still willing to hear what you had to say. And that's important. And those people should be applauded. The people in here listening, even if they were arguing and saying they disagree with you, ignore the people who can't see past the bad shit and who weren't prepared to at least give you just ignore them, mate. They're not worth your time.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, you're right. I need to ignore it. I did come back to not be involved. Focus
on the positives.
Come on, man. 3 different people linked me to that Daisy tweet, and I had to respond to it. I wasn't involved.
I did, because I thought it was fucking hilarious. I thought it was
I didn't even know it happened because I have not been getting involved. And apart from being on this show, one other person's asked me to do an interview, but I'm debating whether to do it now because I've made up with TRMZ's mods. TRMZ's mods, one of them in specific, has been going into people's streams, threatening them, saying you're going to get MattZee'd as well, which completely vindicated everything I've said. He admitted what they've done.
Name it. Which mod?
It's Redline. Redline. Yep. I'll link you to the guy's stream. It's a guy called, let me tell you, because people can go watch it, right? At the 20-minute mark of a stream by a streamer called no _ capital letters buddy, no _ buddy, 20-minute mark, TRMZ's head moderator threatened him that he was going to get MattZee'd if he didn't shut up. I have now confronted Redline about that. He said he didn't mean it like that, and I want to believe him, and I've apologized to all of TRMZ's mods. I haven't had an apology back, but they continued it when I'd stopped. I'm here to play the game and be positive and be happy and enjoy everyone. It's up to other people if they want to continue it, and I will probably react. Hopefully they don't continue it because I just want to enjoy myself and be at peace with everyone.
And the last thing I'm going to say, for those of you who, after you've watched this, you still hate me for doing it, go fuck yourself, because I'll do whatever I feel like I want to do. I do what I find interesting, and I find Matt interesting. Yeah, we've disagreed violently on stuff, but at the same time, I agree with some of the stuff. But yeah, that's for another conversation. But yeah, Nathan's basically saying, out of context, I've seen the chat on that. Redline City is going down the conspiracy path.
People can go watch it. 20-minute mark is his most recent stream. His name's no___buddy. Let people make their own decisions because it was terrible. And you've got to understand that he literally said, you're going to get MattZee, insinuating that they know exactly what they did to me and it's going to happen to you.
Well, no, I will say, if that was the exact wording, that could be taken. There's someone saying you're doing a MattZee. No,
you're going to get MattZee. As in, what happened to MattZee will happen to you if you don't shut up. But let people make their own decisions on it. But I've made amends to Redline. He says he didn't mean it like that. I've sought peace with him, and we're at peace now.
Again, I think it's just time to, I brought this up again, and I get that some people don't understand why, but I think it's just time to, like someone said before, let the healing start, and let's just move past and focus on what's good and
get those bandages out and those saline kits, guys, and let's all play DayZ.
Matt,
whether
thank
you like
you
it or not, I'm
much.
going to be on DayZ. Yeah, thank you. Thanks to everyone for watching. Love you, bye.
Not yet. My next spotlight, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be with Ivan Butka, the man who created the Chernerus map way back in the day for Arma 2. So I'm quite excited about that. We won't be talking too much about, I'm going to ask him obviously what he thinks of the Chernerus map these days, Matt, but mostly I'm going to be focusing on his inspirations at the time, what he thinks of creating pretty much the gold standard of map for DayZ, in that no matter what other maps have come out for PC and that, everyone always ends up back in Chernerus, don't we, Matt? There's just something about Chernerus that feels like home.
I agree, but I haven't stopped playing Ciao yet. I don't think I'll stop. I don't actually think I'm going to go back. But yeah, the general consensus is you're right. It's the OG.
Yeah.
Personally,
and I also do want to do a shout out. I'm looking at diversifying a bit as well, folks. The common theme of my stuff is going to be gaming, but I put a tweet out asking if you're someone where gaming has played an instrumental part in your life, turning it around. Now, in most cases, people who've had a rough start to life, no one ever really finds out their stories, because unless you become, like a bad little what's that rapper?
MattZee.
Lil Wayne, I think
Lil
it is.
Wayne,
Lil Wayne. And he tells a story about how he tried to kill himself, and the police turned up and all the cops ran over him, and one cop, a white guy, picked him up and brought him out, and that set him on a chain of events that led to him being a very successful rapper. But unless you're rich and famous or extremely talented, no one ever hears your story. So I want to hear about people who've managed to turn their lives around and how gaming has played a big part in that. Obviously more around the survival genre, which I'm a fan of.
This is what we want to see, Boydie. Boydie, this is what most of us, the majority, want to see. That's literally what we want to see. I think most people are interested in the hundreds of thousands of gamers out there, not just a small clique group. I think it's a brilliant thing to do, and a lot of people need it as well. And they'd feel amazing. If
I don't care if you're not a content creator. I don't care about anything. If you've got an interesting story, send me a DM on Twitter, on Discord, anything.
We're taking our game back for gamers, and Boydie's at the forefront.
I'm just going to be doing what I enjoy and what brings me happiness. And this interview brought me happiness, mate. A bit of stress as well. A bit of stress. You said you were worried that you thought I'd had a stroke again.
I was, mate, because you overslept. I thought, fuck,
bro, I could cure cancer, and someone would turn around and say he's transphobic because he cured cancer.
Yeah. Everyone knows Dave would. Sorry, Dave.
No, he wouldn't, Dave.
I'm joking.
I do love Dave. I know a lot of people don't, but I like the guy.
He's a professional provocateur. I love him.
Anyway, everyone, all the best, and I will see you next time, same channels as always, for the spotlight on Ivan Butka. All the best,
Let's
and
do it, Elon Musk.
ciao for now.
See you later.